What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. I've already done a scenario where Vegeta turned out to be the legendary Super Saiyan, and of course, that had people asking, what if I ended up doing the same with Goku? I mean, he is the main character after all, naturally people would end up asking this. And while it would be kinda similar to what happened with Vegeta, it would be a completely different story given Goku's mindset. Imagine, a legendary Super Saiyan but with a pure heart like Goku. It could make for a pretty interesting combo. For this part, let's set a like goal of 3,500 likes. If we hit that, I'll continue the series with more parts. Anyways, let's start here. As a kid, Bardock notices that Kakarot has some freaky powers. At certain points his power spikes, even when he's in his incubation chamber. He's not too sure what to think of it, but it could mean Kakarot will be a really strong warrior going forward. He has some incredible potential, and Bardock sees this. Besides wanting Kakarot to survive, he thinks Kakarot may have the power to defeat Frieza eventually. And like normal, he sends Kakarot away, but keeping this in mind, he's confident that one day, he'll avenge the Saiyans. Kakarot is still sent to Earth like normal, and retroactively, we're gonna have everything stay the same here. Goku's gonna hit his head and all, and that's gonna suppress a lot of his anger, turning him into the same pure-hearted boy that we all know. If we went back and gave Goku the potential of someone like Broly, there'd be no story. I mean, he'd just defeat every villain really easily. It wouldn't be too fun, so retroactively, we're just going to use it to explain how fast Goku grew and how much of a prodigy he is. Plus, this will also help explain a lot with Gohan, given his rage boost and all. It is kind of fitting, even if we don't go into depth with it. But that doesn't mean I'm completely erasing his potential. No, we're going to see it later on, and I feel like the big catalyst for this will be Namek. And not when he fights Frieza, but even before that. His growth starts becoming more and more prevalent in the Namek arc. As he heads towards the planet, his growth is getting insane. His gravity training is making him grow incredibly powerful. He's never been this impressed with his own strength. Ginyu is even amazed at Goku's power when they eventually fight. Too bad for him though, because it doesn't really pan out. And Ginyu loses access to Goku's body, leaving Goku injured like normal, healing up in one of the healing chambers. Once more, Goku's injured, brought to the brink of death. And this means he's going to get a huge boost of power once he's fully healed. In the original story he did get really strong from this, but this is going to be different. With his great potential now, he's going to get excessively powerful, way more than he did originally. A lot of the stuff with Frieza goes normal, up until the point when Vegeta is killed. And around that same time, Goku wakes up once more. His friends are all amazed with his strength. Instead of being 3 million like it was normally, here it's going to actually be 10 million. In comparison to Frieza, that's not really that big of a deal. But one thing that Frieza doesn't consider is that Goku has Kaioken, up to times 20. With Kaioken times 20, Goku would actually outmatch Frieza. Of course, he can't use Kaioken forever, it's very draining on the body, especially at this level. But still, it's simple math. Kaioken times 20 with the power level of 10 million. That leaves Goku at a power of 200 million, way bigger than what Frieza's at, even at his full power. This means Frieza has to actually go full power earlier on. Instead of going at 50%, he bulks up right away, knowing that Goku's the real deal. He's not sure what happened or why this Saiyan is so strong, but he's pissed off. This is the first time he's actually had a real challenge. And he's not going to let this monkey get away with this. Goku can tell that Frieza's getting desperate, but he's getting desperate too. Kaioken times 20 brings him way beyond Frieza's power, but it's not something that Goku can maintain. He has to conserve his stamina and find a way to end this quickly. Otherwise he'll get tired out and Frieza will kill him. But like I mentioned, Frieza is getting really desperate, and he decides that he's going to take out the other people around Goku first. If he can't kill this monkey, he'll at least kill his friends, and then take out the planet with them. Gohan, Krillin, and Piccolo are trying to help, but of course they're not really doing anything, mainly serving as distractions so Goku can catch his breath as he uses Kaioken continuously. And they're making some great progress, but Goku's not too sure. Kaioken is so taxing on its body, he needs the perfect opening to land a finishing blow on the Emperor. That's what they all plan to do. They're trying to distract Frieza so Goku can get this opportunity. Frieza is annoyed beyond belief, and decides to go to kill the others now. First, he decides that maybe he'll kill the Brat. One less Saiyan in the universe will put him at ease. Then he'll go for the Namekian and the Earthling. As Goku tries to recharge, Frieza then sets his sights on Gohan. Piccolo and Krillin try to fight Frieza as well, but he knocks both of them out of the way. Then grabbing onto Gohan, punching him in the stomach, leaving him injured. Holding Gohan up by his hair, he turns around and looks at Goku. Goku doesn't know how to react. Frieza has Gohan hostage, and Goku begins to feel anger. Anger like he's never felt before. He doesn't want it to cloud his judgment though, but that's easier said than done. Frieza then sticks out a single hand, placing it on Gohan's back. He smirks, and then launches a massive blast. The beam dissipates, and Gohan's nowhere to be seen. Frieza completely eradicated him. Piccolo and Krillin are feeling a mix of fear and anger, but for Goku, it's different. He has a blank expression on his face. There's no way what just happened actually happened. Everything is silent. and Goku then begins shaking. Piccolo and Krillin aren't too sure what's happening, but they know that Frieza pissed him off. This isn't just regular anger though, no, it's the pure embodiment of rage. They have never seen Goku look like this before. The expression on his face, it scares even them too. But then something else changes. A massive gust of wind is sent their way, as an incredible green aura surrounds Goku. They're not sure what's happening, and they look over and see. Goku's beginning to bulk up, considerably. His shirt rips, and he's grown in size. Not only are his muscles growing, but his whole body. His hair, it's spiking up. His eyes are completely blank. The aura then gets more and more intense, blinding everyone. Goku undergoes a horrific transformation as the planet's illuminated by a terrifying green light. The light dissipates and then they see. Goku's standing there looking much different. It doesn't even look like him. It looks like a monster, and Frieza realizes what he just created. No way. The green hair, that bulked up appearance. Goku's transformed, and it's not any normal transformation. It's the Super Saiyan. Little does Frieza know though, this isn't just any Super Saiyan. It's the legendary Super Saiyan, capital L. A completely different beast from a normal Super Saiyan. Goku is completely berserk. There's only one thing on his mind. He wants to kill Frieza. A huge sonic boom is created as Goku launches over towards Frieza, shaking the entire area. He then clashes with Frieza, hitting him right in the gut as Frieza coughs up blood. Krillin and Piccolo are terrified. They don't know what they're witnessing, but they can tell that Goku's completely berserk. He's lost it. They decide to retreat for now, grabbing Bulma to make sure she's safe. They sense his power and it's nothing like they've sensed before. It's completely unfathomable. It makes Frieza look small in comparison, and while part of them is glad that Goku got this power up, they don't know what's going to happen after he kills Frieza. It seems like he's gone completely insane, losing any sense of rationality. They get Bulma and the three of them get on a ship, with Bulma confused as to what's happening as the planet continues shaking. They're ready to escape, but Piccolo then decides to get off and says he can't leave Goku here like that. Even if they're terrified at Goku's power and what he's going to do, Piccolo wants to get him to snap out of it. They can't just run away like cowards. Back to Goku, he's beating Frieza badly, and this isn't any normal fight. Goku's become a complete brute. He's not fighting with any of his talent and grace like he usually does. Frieza tries to fight back, landing some powerful attacks and even Ki Blast. But Goku just brushes them off. Whenever one of his lasers hits, it just bounces off Goku like nothing. And with Goku having gone berserk, he's not making this quick either. He's basically torturing Frieza. Namek is still intact, but if Goku keeps fighting in the way he does, he'll destroy it and himself. Piccolo flies over and then yells to Goku, as Goku turns around, holding a half-dead Frieza in his hand, dropping him to the ground. Slowly, Goku floats over towards Piccolo, and Piccolo instinctively moves back as he looks concerned. Goku's staring at him, but he sees no pupils in his eyes. It's just pure white, and his aura alone, it's pushing Piccolo back. It's so powerful. He's terrified but tries to hide his fear, not knowing what Goku's gonna do to him, if he's gonna attack or if he's just threatening Piccolo. From below, a massive purple beam comes up. Frieza tries to counterattack, with Goku simply swatting the beam away. Frieza then jumps up, ready to attack once more, but the angered Goku turns around to him and screams. The scream's so loud that it knocks Piccolo back, and it generates energy from Goku's mouth. A massive green beam flies out towards Frieza, instantly eradicating him, as the beam flies off into space, illuminating the entire planet, leaving a massive crater in its wake. With Frieza now dead, Goku turns around and focuses his attention on Piccolo. He cocks his arm back and then hits Piccolo with a strong punch. He pulls the punch though because he doesn't want to kill Piccolo right away. Piccolo is instantly knocked unconscious from this, launched miles away, and Goku goes to finish the job. But then Krillin jumps out, even more scared than Piccolo. Krillin picks Piccolo up and looks at Goku, trying to get him to stop. Bulma then jumps out of the ship too, looking up terrified as she sees what Goku looks like. And Goku then stops in his tracks. Seeing Krillin helps him regain some of that sanity, his best friend, he sees Bulma and Piccolo too, realizing who they are. Krillin's yelling out at Goku trying to get him to stop, with King Kai even talking in his head too, trying to do the same. Suddenly, his aura disappears, and Goku snaps out of it, returning to his normal state, collapsing onto the ground exhausted. No one knows what they just saw. They're all confused and scared. Both Goku and Piccolo are unconscious, and Krillin and Bulma decide to leave, but before they do, wishes are made to revive everyone on Namek, and with Porunga there to grant one more wish, the Namekians wish to restore their planet, and in a few months' time, they'll wish for another planet to be made and moved there. But with the wish made to revive everyone, that of course brings Gohan back as well as Vegeta. They know that they died, but they don't really know what happened afterwards. And as for Vegeta, he doesn't really know what to do, so he goes to ask the group what happened. He sees Kakarot unconscious as Piccolo wakes up, and he sees Frieza nowhere in sight. Did Kakarot actually kill him somehow? Well, Piccolo begins explaining. Yes, he killed Frieza, but it was due to some transformation that he got. They're not too sure what happened, but after Gohan ended up dying, Goku transformed. and Piccolo explains what he saw. Vegeta's surprised to hear this. At first he assumes it's the regular Super Saiyan, but then his stomach drops as Piccolo begins to explain further. Obviously Vegeta's only heard stuff from legends, but from what he's hearing, this doesn't sound like a regular Super Saiyan. It sounds like the legendary Super Saiyan, capital L, a completely different form with destructive powers unlike any other. He's not sure what to think of this, but decides he's gonna head back to Earth with them. They don't really want Vegeta to come on the ship, but what could they really do? Piccolo's in bad shape, Goku's unconscious, and Krillin can't fight Vegeta off. Maybe Gohan can, but they'd rather not fight right now. So without any better options, they let Vegeta board the ship and they head back towards Earth. After some time, Goku finally wakes up, not too sure himself what happened. All he remembers is that Gohan ended up dying, but he sees Gohan in front of him, so it might have just been a bad dream or something. He was fighting Frieza though, he knows that did happen, but his memory is kinda cloudy. Besides being exhausted, he's just confused if anything. Piccolo starts out with the good news. The good thing is, they defeated Frieza and saved Namek. Well, it wasn't really them that did it was mostly Goku. And that makes Goku happy. Oh, the Kaioken must have worked. He assumes that he just used it too much and he got exhausted and forgot everything afterwards. But that's not actually the case. Piccolo tells him that Gohan actually did die. Thankfully though, with a wish made from Earth, everyone ended up getting revived, so that's why Gohan came back so quickly. The thing is, after Gohan died, Goku transformed, and Piccolo goes into more detail. Wait, he transformed? He doesn't remember any of this. Apparently he went completely berserk too. That doesn't sound like him, but everything Piccolo and Krillin are saying is the truth. They wouldn't just make this up. And Vegeta steps in to talk more about it. He assumes that Kakarot is the legendary Super Saiyan, one with a power so intense that he destroys everything around him. Strength that's unmatched by anyone else. Vegeta begins questioning him more, but Goku doesn't know anything. Not only doesn't he remember it, but he knows nothing about whatever this transformation is. As for Vegeta, this at least explains to him why Goku's so strong. Even though a lot of Goku's strength was from his training, Vegeta's just gonna assume that it's from him being the legendary Super Saiyan, and the insane potential boiling up within him. Of course, Goku is interested in this. Apparently it sounds really strong, and he wants to learn more about it and how to control it, especially because if he doesn't, well, he could end up destroying everything if he gets too angry again. Obviously it would make him a lot stronger too, and would make fights more interesting. That's most of the reason he wants to learn it. But still, he's worried. Apparently he lost all control, and almost killed Piccolo. And if this happens again, who knows what'll happen? Maybe he'll kill his friends, maybe he'll destroy Earth, maybe he'll destroy himself. He doesn't even want to think about it, and actually begins to grow concerned with his power. Sure, it could make him stronger, but if he loses control again, what happens? Goku actually seems scared, and isn't sure what to do, but Vegeta tells him he'll try and help train him. Obviously Vegeta's not sure himself how to do this, but maybe he can work with Kakarot and get him to learn something. And on the flip side, it'll help Vegeta learn some things himself. Maybe he can get his own transformation. The ship heads back towards Earth, and eventually everyone heals up. Goku actually gets stronger from this just in his base alone. Because of how overwhelming the power was, it actually injured him. And once he's healed, he gets stronger from it. He and Vegeta begin exploring the possibilities of what happened. But then the two of them realize something. Goku's seen Gohan fight before, and when he gets mad, he gets incredibly powerful, and Goku's not too sure what to think of it. He thought at first it was just because of how he grew up, being a hybrid Saiyan and all. But the more he thinks about it, the more he realizes it might be a trait from Goku. Yeah, Goku is the legendary Super Saiyan, but what if Gohan has the same power within him? He is Goku's son after all, and Vegeta's surprised. He never even considered this, but Kakarot might actually be right. That creates a really big conundrum. Not only do they have Goku to worry about, but they have Gohan to worry about now too. What if he could access the same power? And what if it's even more potent than what Goku has due to him being a hybrid? They don't know, but first they need to get to the bottom of it, figuring out what actually makes Goku tick, and seeing if they can get him to access it again and control it this time around. Goku's a bit concerned, but he's up for the challenge. At least it'll make him stronger and give him a better grasp on his power. Although, he's not too sure what route he's gonna go down. Back on Earth, Vegeta begins observing Goku. The two of them have already started training together, trying to figure out what to do next. Because think about it, if Goku wants to grasp this power somehow, he's gonna need to transform again, but if he does, that brings along the risk of him destroying himself and everyone else around him, as well as the planet too probably. So Vegeta's weighing the negatives and positives. Positive side, they get to train with it. Negative side, maybe everyone blows up. Okay, well, he'll save that idea for later. They can get Goku to transform later on. They keep thinking and there might be a way to actually work around this. A way for Goku to actually transform and practice with the transformation, and a way for Goku to learn how to control it. It's a perfect idea, and Vegeta lets Goku know. He's gonna transform first. Wait, what? Yeah, Vegeta thinks this is actually a great plan. Not only will it let them see what the form is like from Vegeta's perspective, but if Goku does transform and he goes berserk, that means Vegeta will be stronger and he can keep Goku under control. Hopefully. He might not be strong enough, but it's worth a shot at least. And obviously he doesn't tell Goku this part, but it's partially because it lets Vegeta get ahead. He gets to train with Super Saiyan or whatever he gets, while Goku's still stuck behind trying to figure out his form. So at least for the time being, it might give Vegeta a bit of a head start. Not that it's going to be an incredibly long-lasting lead, but it will be enough to stroke Vegeta's ego. It's the perfect opportunity for both of them to grow, and a way for Goku to actually figure out his thing. They waste no time, and immediately the two begin training together with this in mind, trying to get Vegeta to turn Super Saiyan somehow. Now clearly, this isn't going to be an overnight process. They know nothing about Super Saiyan. The only time they've ever seen one is with Goku, and he's not even a regular Super Saiyan. For Vegeta, it might be completely different. Maybe anger won't make him transform. Maybe it's sadness. Maybe it's self-loathing. Maybe something else. They don't know. They keep going through all the possibilities, but they're not sure how to figure it out. It seems like trial and error will probably be the best way for them to do it for now. At least though, they're still training, which means even in base they're getting stronger. So at least they're not wasting a bunch of time trying to get Vegeta to transform. Goku doesn't remember much from his fight with Frieza, but vaguely he remembers a weird feeling that he had before he transformed. Maybe this will help Vegeta. He felt a weird energy concentrating in his back, almost like he focused all the energy there on the top of it, and it sparked inside of him, causing some sort of weird transformation. But after feeling that sensation, he doesn't remember much else. That's the best he can give Vegeta. Well, Vegeta can actually kind of work with that. The tingly back thing that we saw with the Universe 6 Saiyans. What if Vegeta could do that too? Yeah, I don't like the tingly back explanation just as much as the next guy, but it's at least useful here in this scenario. And if we are going with that logic, we're going to have to use S-cells too, which Vegeta probably wouldn't have a lot of. He tries to do the tingly back thing, but it doesn't really help too much. He does feel a brief sensation, but not enough to actually push him over the edge and transform. But over the course of the next year or so, they keep trying this, trying to get Vegeta to transform in any way possible, and eventually he does actually unlock it. Very briefly, but he still gets it, and it's amazing. It's not like Goku Super Saiyan, it's completely different. Vegeta is stronger in this form, not as strong as Goku, but a lot stronger regardless. And it's not calm by any means, but Vegeta has way more control over it and has lucidity in the form, whereas Goku completely just lost his mind. Obviously Vegeta's form is a lot easier to get a grasp on. And now that he has this form, the next step is to try and get him to control it better. He's going to try and tame the power somehow, and if he figures out a way to tame it, then Goku can try it himself with his form. Goku is still nervous though, he's not too sure this is going to work. Vegeta's Super Saiyan does seem like it could help, but it doesn't seem like it's going to do too much. Even with the similarities, they're just too different. Maybe some of the stuff does apply to his form, but Goku also does consider the possibility that it's completely useless to try and learn this. It might not work at all, but it is his best shot at getting stronger and getting over his anxiety of getting stronger. The two continue on with this, with Vegeta interested to see how Goku grows. Even though he's just training in base, he's getting exceptionally stronger. It's insane. Training is going pretty well for them and everyone else, until one day, they sense a vaguely familiar energy out in space, but something that they can't quite put their finger on, but Vegeta knows instantly who it is. Wait, that energy. It feels similar to Frieza's, which means it's probably King Cold. Oh great, he found Earth. Vegeta's not scared, just annoyed. By this point, he's more than strong enough to actually defeat King Cold, and he plans to do exactly just that. Everyone else senses King Cold arriving on Earth, wondering what's going on, and Vegeta tells him not to worry. He's got it under control. Not only will this be a perfect way to test out his Super Saiyan form, but it'll be a nice taste of revenge. Vegeta flies over to where the ship is landing. A bunch of soldiers step out, and with a single blast from his hand, Vegeta eliminates them all. He hears a chuckle as someone walks off the ship. It's King Cold. Just like he expected, Vegeta is here on Earth, no longer in space doing whatever he was doing before. King Cold says he's here to kill everyone, but before he does want Vegeta to tell him one thing. How did Frieza die? Even if Vegeta doesn't tell him the story, King Cold will just kill him regardless, but it'll be nice to at least get this info out of him before he kills him. Vegeta's glad he asked. He tells him it was the legendary Super Saiyan. Wait, the legendary Super Saiyan? Like that myth that they heard about? There's no way. And what's even better, it wasn't even Vegeta that was a legendary Super Saiyan. But he informs King Cold not to worry. There's another type of Super Saiyan standing right in front of him, Vegeta himself. Surrounded by a golden aura, Vegeta powers up and then transforms into Super Saiyan, showing it off to King Cold. No, this has to be some sort of trick. The Super Saiyan can't be real, especially two of them. Vegeta lunges at King Cold and the two begin their battle. And by battle, I mean one-sided beatdown. Vegeta's way stronger than where King Cold would be here. And he enjoys his time, although he can't cause too much damage to Earth, so he does have to make this quick. If he drags this on any longer, who knows, King Cold might get desperate and try to blow up the planet. No biggie though, Vegeta jumps up in the air, sticking out one hand. He shouts Big Bang Attack, launching a beam of energy at King Cold. He's eradicated right on the spot, not a trace left, and Vegeta has claimed victory. Just like he thought, that would be over pretty quickly, and it was a nice test of his power. He's much stronger than he actually assumed. He thought there would be at least a little bit of struggle, but nothing at all. It was really easy. This is why Vegeta's behaving so well right now. He's so strong that he's not even mad at anyone, and not being his bitter usual self. I mean, I hate to be mean to him, but come on, look at how he acted during the Android saga. He was a pretty big ass at times, but with him being the top dog around here, or seemingly the top dog, he's pretty happy. And especially with this fight against King Cold, he's even happier. This is amazing. But as he leaves the area, someone else shows up. He hears someone land behind him and turns around, and his smirk turns into a shocked expression. This fighter, his energy is so familiar, not to mention his outfit. The key that Vegeta's reading, it's almost exactly like Gohan's. No wait, it is exactly Gohan's. Not to mention the obvious outfit. What's going on here? The man standing in front of him introduces himself. He's future Gohan. He was expecting to fight King Cold, but it seems Vegeta already took care of that, and he asks Vegeta if he can get everyone to come over here. Okay, Vegeta's just completely confused, but he obliges. He goes to get everyone else and they come over here. Just as surprised as Vegeta. No way, Gohan from the future? That's kinda awesome. And yeah, he's here with 3 pieces of news, 3 things that could really help out some people. For one, he gives Goku his heart virus medicine, and then begins to tell his backstory. In his timeline, he and Trunks were actually able to defeat the androids. Well, by him and Trunks I mean him. And we'll be getting into why that's the case. With all of his training, Gohan in the future was actually able to unlock legendary Super Saiyan, just like Goku and Vegeta suspected. When he transformed, he actually used it against the androids. And even though his power was pretty great, the 2 androids together were able to overcome him, alongside the fact that Gohan couldn't control himself. Inadvertently, they saved the Earth from being destroyed by Gohan. But Gohan began thinking and realized that this might actually be perfect. They can keep him in check, the androids of all people. He could fight against them and try and get a grasp on the form, on top of all the training he's doing. After a while, he did get a lot stronger and got a better control on this form, learning to perfectly control it without going berserk at all. And this is eventually what allowed him to defeat the androids, single-handedly in fact. Really, he didn't need to come back in time. While the androids were attacking, Bulma still did have a failsafe, which was the time machine. If Gohan actually wasn't able to defeat the androids, they'd at least have this to fall back on. But even so, she wonders if they could use it. I mean, it's kind of a shame that it has to go to waste. They still could use it and try to reverse everything. Yeah, the androids are defeated and they're rebuilding stuff. But maybe they could bring everyone back this way, prevent it from ever happening. It's at least worth a shot, so she sent Gohan back into the past. And obviously he doesn't mention Trunks in the story, otherwise he might not be born. Anywho, this backstory served as 2 other pieces of information that would be useful to everyone. Obviously the part about the android is something to need to consider, but more importantly, the fact that Gohan got control over legendary Super Saiyan. This shows Goku that it is possible, and Gohan's gonna help him. And even better, this means Gohan in the present timeline can get it too, and later on he can get the same form. Future Gohan spent some time in the past teaching Goku this method. Goku transforms again for the first time since Namek, losing control just like he expected. At first, Gohan actually has to beat him in the fight and knock him out, because Goku has no way of maintaining his power. But over the next few days they do this more and more, and eventually Goku does get some sort of control. Not perfect control, but enough to where he doesn't destroy everything. And soon enough, with some more training, he'll be where Gohan is. But this is all the time Gohan has. He returns to the future timeline, wishing everyone the best and telling them he'll see them in 3 years. Also glad to have seen Goku again. And of course, fighting him too. That was pretty fun. The 3 years of training begin, and it goes pretty much like normal. Normal as in, nothing really of note happens. But in terms of powers, Vegeta is stronger because he got a nice head start on Super Saiyan. And as for Goku, he's obviously getting more control over his legendary form. For Gohan, he's not too sure if he wants to pursue this. It seems scary. I mean, consider how old Gohan is at this time. He's still a kid. But seeing his future self kind of served as motivation for him. He could do it too, and he should. He wants to make that future version of himself proud. He needs to fulfill that destiny. And if the androids truly are as threatening as they say, he needs to do this regardless. He doesn't actually unlock it over the 3 years, but they can tell he's close. He just needs a little push, and they're not too sure what, but they know it's going to come up soon. As for the androids, Jiro has been studying everyone. And with some of the fighters being stronger, Jiro naturally would adjust his androids to be strong enough to actually counter them. The encounter with the first few androids goes pretty normally, except for one major change. When they're actually fighting 19 and 20, Goku doesn't fall ill to the heart virus. He already did fall ill to it. It actually hit a bit earlier than expected. This is due to the intensity of legendary Super Saiyan. It wore out his body more and actually brought the virus out. A little bit earlier than it should have, so Goku already did fall ill to it, then took the medicine and got better. He's back in commission and is ready to fight, easily defeating Android 19 while Vegeta takes on Android 20, who then ends up escaping trying to activate the androids in his lab. Jiro knew they were strong, but he didn't expect them to be this potent. It doesn't matter though, even if he and 19 can do the job, 17 and 18 definitely will. So he activates the androids. Back with our group of heroes, they actually get to meet someone new. Gohan finally comes back from the future, but he has a visitor alongside him, and Vegeta's amazed to see who it is. There's no doubt about it, this person is his son, Trunks, from the future. No one actually knew that Trunks was alive in the future. Vegeta made it a note to actually ask Gohan if he was alive, but it seems like he doesn't have to ask. Gohan said he kept this a secret to make sure that Trunks would be born here, and it seems like that actually worked. And surprisingly enough, Trunks is also a Super Saiyan, a normal one like Vegeta. And the group tells Gohan everything that happened. It seems that the androids here weren't the same ones from their timeline. But after some searching, they're eventually able to find Jiro's lab and realize, yeah, they're kinda screwed here. The androids here are much stronger than they were before. Jiro adjusted them to account for the strength of everyone in this timeline, which is definitely kind of an issue. And the great thing is, Goku's okay, and he's right there in front of the androids. Their target came right to them. It's perfect. And a lot less work for them. The group fights off the androids, and with 2 extra fighters from the future, it's actually a little bit more even. Goku's able to show off the full power of his controlled legendary Super Saiyan form. And if it was just the regular group alone, they might have not stood a chance against the androids, but with Gohan and Trunks here, they give a lot of extra power, especially future Gohan. And even though these androids are stronger, they shouldn't be too big of a deal. And they come up with a perfect plan. The group holds off the androids as Goku and future Gohan retreat, drawing back for a bit as they formulate a plan. And they have the perfect idea. They just need to separate the androids. If they can defeat one, they'll be able to easily defeat the other, and there's a great way to actually do that. They just need to team up. A combined attack from 2 legendary Super Saiyans should be enough to kill one of them, and then after that they'll just go after the other. They give out a signal and the group immediately helps. They start by distracting the androids with blasts. Of course they're not injured by all of this, but as the blasts dissipate, they see 2 blinding lights in front of them, solar flares from Tenshinhan and Krillin. Blinded, the androids stumble back, and they're actually blind. Unlike the others, they can't sense ki, which makes it a lot tougher for them. They have to rely purely on vision, which they don't have right now. Goku and Gohan immediately power up, jumping in and not giving them a chance to react. First they aim for the stronger one, Android 17. Gohan lands a powerful gut punch on 17, as Goku then elbows him in the head, pummeling him down into the ground. The two then jump up and together, they launch a blast right at the ground, critically injuring 17. Slowly, Android 18's vision comes back, and she looks over to see a crater with 17 in it, badly beaten and injured. She's angry and jumps at the father-son duo, trying to attack, but with the two of them together, they outpace her. Now she's at a disadvantage. The two fly at her together. Goku hits her from behind, bad phrasing, don't have a dirty mind, and Gohan attacks her from the front. This stuns her midair, and the two of them draw back. Together they launch Kamehamehas at each other, with 18 right in the middle. The two blasts collide, creating a massive explosion, killing 18 and leaving nothing left. They look back over to the pit where 17 was, ready to finish him off, but they don't see him. There's a cloud of smoke, but it dissipates and there's no one there. He's badly injured though, so once they find him, they can finish it off quickly. But somewhere out there, 17's alive, and not only that, there's another android, another threat that they don't even know about. Imperfect Cell is out there lurking somewhere, and with 17 wandering about, he actually has a chance to absorb one of the androids. Although he won't get two of them, this is still enough. But first he actually has to locate the androids and figure out what's going on with them. The group's glad that they're victorious, but they're not going to celebrate yet. They want to make sure that 17 is gone for good. And plus, they see something very concerning. They search through Jiro's lab and find something weird at the bottom floor. A project, something that wasn't released yet. This project is titled Cell. This is the first time they discover and learn of him. After encountering Goku and Gohan, Android 17 narrowly escapes his life. He's pretty badly injured, but thanks to him being an android, he still has energy left to escape. And also he can't be sensed by them. He needs to figure out what to do next though. Not entirely sure what the best course of action is. He could try and plan a counterattack, but he'd need to heal up first, and that's definitely going to take a while. And even then, how strong really is he? He was confident in his strength before, but now it seems like there's no way for him to win. And that's even if he does get the chance to escape. Maybe the group will be able to track him down or something, even without sensing him. He's nervous and unsure of what to do next. He continues moving, and eventually encounters someone. He doesn't recognize the person that he encounters, or the thing that he encounters. He's not too sure what it is or who it is. But it looks unnerving. It's definitely not something that's human. It looks almost alien-like, like a bug of some sorts. The creature introduces himself. His name is Cell, another creation of Dr. Jiro's. 17's not sure if this revelation is good or bad. A creation of Jiro could mean that he's an ally, but it also could mean he's another enemy. Something made as a failsafe to kill the androids in case they go rogue. But this guy's an android as well, although he looks much different. 17 and 18 are based on humans, and he could tell that this guy definitely isn't like that. And Cell explains what he is. He's a bio-android, created purely from the genes of other fighters. And he actually has a nice offer for Android 17. if he wants to accept it. Cell obviously notices 17's condition, and he tells 17 that he'll die if he continues on like this. He's far too injured, and if he even tries to put up a fight with anyone, it's not going to go anywhere. Not only will his injuries hold him back, but clearly his power will hold him back as well. Cell says that he should just join him, but it seems like there's a catch of some sorts, and 17 wonders what it is. Cell tries to explain around this, to make it easier for himself. He says that with their combined power, they could defeat Goku together. He just needs the help of 17 and 18. 17 reveals that 18 is actually dead, defeated by the fighters they just encountered. This kinda ticks Cell off to learn, but whatever, at least one of the androids is here still. That means he can at least get partially perfect. So, he asks 17 again, is he willing to join? It's pretty simple really, all he needs to do is absorb 17, and then the two of them will merge into one, growing strong enough to defeat the other fighters. But obviously, this isn't an offer that 17 would want to take. Sure, he could go along willingly, but he knows what he's going to agree to. He would agree to being absorbed by Cell, basically losing his entire free will just to become merged with him. But Cell's not going to take no for an answer. If 17 doesn't want to join willingly, he'll make 17 join by force. Although he's injured, 17's not going to give up and go down without a fight. He prepares to battle, and quickly learns that it's pretty much fruitless. Cell is too powerful for him. Even if he was at full strength and wasn't injured, he doesn't know if beating Cell is possible at all. Cell doesn't mind though. He did need to test out some of his powers a bit, even though this isn't really that good of a match. But hey, either way he was going to absorb 17, whether he agreed or not. And with this, Cell begins transforming, growing stronger and stronger as he goes into his semi-perfect form. He's still bothered by the fact that he can't absorb Android 18. Without her, he won't be able to achieve his full perfection. This should be enough, but still, it kinda irks him. Oh well, just more of a reason to kill all the other fighters. It only serves as motivation for him and more justification to kill everyone. This will make it harder to become perfect if that even is possible anymore. But still, 17's power should be more than enough for him. At his current strength, he might be able to defeat all the fighters. And who knows, maybe he'll learn something during the battles that they have. Maybe he'll get even stronger than he is now. I mean, consider his genetic makeup. This Cell is much different than the regular Cell from canon. A much stronger Cell with better genes. Cell wastes no time, and immediately starts tracking down the group. Right away, the group senses this weird power nearby. It feels like an amalgamation of everyone's energies combined. They sense Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, everyone. But there's also other people involved in that energy. Not to mention, the presence feels evil. It's definitely not good by any means. This gets them curious and anxious as well, immediately recognizing that this might be a threat. Goku and future Gohan are a bit worn out and injured after their fight, so they're gonna go visit Korn and get some senzu beans for themselves and everyone else. Vegeta tells them to go alone. He says that he, Trunks, and Piccolo will fight this threat, either stopping him or at least holding him off for the time being. They're not sure what they're about to encounter, but as he gets closer, they get a better sense of his energy. It may actually be more of a challenge than they originally thought. The monster lands in front of them, an unrecognizable green creature that they've never seen before. But Cell introduces himself, giving pretty much the same spiel that he gave to Android 17. He's another android created by Dr. Gero, and thanks to them, it was actually much easier to absorb Android 17, although they did inhibit his perfection by stopping Android 18. Killing her means that he won't be able to absorb her, and he's pretty mad about that, so he's gonna have to get revenge against them somehow. Not to mention his own desire to kill Goku. It's a double whammy, and he looks forward to killing all of them, as well as being able to test his power. Vegeta transforms into Super Saiyan, showing Cell that he isn't scared. He goes to attack the android, and immediately he's aware that none of his attacks will do anything. Cell leaves himself perfectly open, letting Vegeta get a few direct hits in, but they pretty much amount to nothing. All it does is serve to show how strong Cell is in comparison to everyone else. That's right, he did absorb Android 17, so he's at least stronger than him, but they're not sure how strong. But it's fine, they might be able to hold him off at least. And if they buy enough time, Goku and Gohan will come back and save the day. Trunks and Piccolo join in the fight too. And just like Vegeta, their attacks do pretty much nothing to Cell. Kid Gohan jumps in too, and even with 4 people facing him at once, he's tanking all of the attacks like it's nothing. But he let them have their fun. Now it's time for him to do his own counterattack. He lifts a hand up as energy rockets out of the ground, knocking everyone back. First, he'll have his fun with Vegeta. He sticks out another hand, telekinetically lifting Vegeta into the air. Vegeta stops himself though, resisting Cell's telekinesis. Oh, it appears Vegeta's stronger than he thought, but obviously it's still not too impressive for Cell. He jumps up while heavily holding back, and the two begin exchanging blows. Cell's attacks really hurt, and he's not even at full power right now. A giant beam comes up from the ground as Trunks then joins in again. Now the 4 of them aren't playing. They know what to expect from Cell, and they're going all out. But once again, he simply knocks everyone back. Gohan gets up again, still ready to fight. But every time he jumps up, Cell knocks him back down. He wonders why Gohan is doing this. Obviously his attacks aren't working. But every time Cell knocks Gohan down, he gets up a little stronger than before. And Cell begins to see. Gohan's angry. How cute. He's gonna throw a temper tantrum. Well, I guess you could call it a temper tantrum. Gohan's getting angrier and angrier, and suddenly he explodes with power. He won't let Cell leave this area and go find Goku, so Cell prepares an attack that's meant to kill Gohan. He launches a single blast from one of his hands, with Gohan desperately trying to push it back. Gohan's power grows higher and higher as he screams, then successfully throwing the attack back at Cell. Impressive. He countered that one attack. Sadly, that's not going to be enough. But then Cell looks closer and sees something's changing about Gohan. He has a new aura around him, a green one. Wait a second, he knows what this is. He can't believe it. Does he really have the same power as Goku? If that's the case, Gohan might actually be an issue. Everyone is blown away as Gohan powers up. Everyone besides Cell. He continues watching on as a massive crater is created, with Gohan standing there surrounded by green energy. His hair is now standing up, and it's green. Cell should have expected this. Just like Goku, Gohan is now transformed into a legendary Super Saiyan, much earlier than even future Gohan was able to. He quickly launches up a Cell, hitting him directly in the face with a punch. And for the first time in this whole encounter, Cell actually feels pain from it. Gohan's completely blinded by rage, and the two of them begin exchanging blows. Just as this happens, Goku and future Gohan arrive on the scene. They already sensed everything from far away, so they assumed what happened is that Gohan transformed, and just like they suspected, he did. On one hand, this is great because it means Gohan's finally accessed his power, but on the other hand, it's bad because Gohan's finally accessed this power. Goku was kinda dreading this day. Of course, future Gohan did get it under control, but that's only because he was stopped. And so far, Gohan hasn't been stopped. Cell is continuing to hold back. And even when he uses more of his energy, it's not enough to stop Gohan. If Gohan keeps going like this, he'll cause a lot more damage than he needs to. So the two of them jump in to help, going into their controlled legendary Super Saiyan form. Cell then receives two attacks behind him, injured as two blasts from Goku and future Gohan hit him. He turns around and smiles. He's glad to see that Goku's finally here, as well as future Gohan. He should have suspected as much. He saw Trunks earlier, but now he's seeing Gohan too. He remains cocky, but he knows he might actually be in trouble. He didn't expect Kid Gohan to transform into a legendary Super Saiyan this early on, which means now he's going to be facing three of them at once. It might be an issue. With Kid Gohan still enraged, the other two legendary Super Saiyans join in an attack, starting a 3v1 against Cell. And it's actually working. Their attacks are overwhelming him. He's getting more and more injured. And they know how much of a threat he is. They need to finish this quickly so they can eliminate Cell and stop Gohan from rampaging. But this only serves to anger Cell more and more. First, he learned that Android 18 was destroyed. He won't be able to get his perfect form. Second, he learned that there's another legendary Super Saiyan here, one more than he expected. That ruins his whole plan. And at this rate, there's no way he's gonna win. No way for him to kill Goku. No way for him to become perfect. No way for him to survive. The three of them keep beating him down, injuring Cell more and more, regardless of how much he's regenerated. And then he screams. The three fighters are thrown back, as well as everyone else on the ground watching nearby. Cell starts powering up. He actually bulks up a bit, and an aura appears around him. Instead of it being yellow like normal, it's green. His eyes are completely white as well, but he actually does retain some sort of control. He's amazed at himself, realizing what he just did. Of course, he's surprised he didn't think of this before. He is part Goku after all, so naturally, that should mean he's able to become a legendary Super Saiyan as well, or at least access that same sort of power, which he just did. Who cares that he's not going to become perfect? This is more than enough power. Now the tides are turned. The fight resumes, and immediately they realize that they're outmatched. Because Cell accessed this power, it closed the gap between him and his foes. And the thing is, as he continues fighting, he's growing stronger and stronger. This form is strenuous in its current state. Given the odd healing properties of the form and Cell's regeneration, mixed with Saiyan power boosts, and the fact that legendary Super Saiyans grow stronger as they fight, well, I'll let you guys put two and two together. It's a perfect cocktail, all of those things happening at once. Cell's power is increasing. At first, this just makes the fight tougher between the three of them and Cell, but the power gap keeps growing and growing. Cell gains the upper hand, brutally beating everyone down. He knocks Gohan out of his legendary form, throwing him back into base and stopping his rampage. He focuses on Goku and future Gohan, and nothing they do even phases Cell. And as Cell keeps powering up, he loses more and more of his sanity. He did have some sort of control before, but he's getting drunk in this power, losing pretty much all of his reasoning, now focused on basically torturing everyone. He grabs Goku, flinging him into the ground, the force of which is so strong that it creates a massive earthquake, flinging up rocks and debris nearby. He then goes for future Gohan, tackling him into a nearby mountain. The mountaintop is completely blown off, and Gohan survives the attack, but he's pretty badly injured from it, as Cell keeps beating him down. In order to save future Gohan, the other fighters jump in, flying over as quickly as possible, launching their own attacks at Cell, and they hit him directly, although they do nothing. All they accomplish is basically tickling Cell. Annoyed by this, he turns around and then launches towards them. but before he can grab any of them, he's hit by an uppercut from Goku, as Cell then aims to attack him once more. But Goku notices something weird. As Cell powers up, his size is actually increasing. His attacks are becoming more powerful, but also more sloppy. And whenever he lands a punch, it's basically like his arm explodes, instantly regenerating after the fact. Goku then realizes what this means. Just like he felt before when he first got the form, Cell's not able to contain its power, especially at the rate he's growing and how much power is in him. The more he fights and the longer he fights, the more Cell loses control, and the more he's injuring himself. Goku just found out the perfect way to defeat Cell. Let him get stronger. Instead of trying to fight offensively, they go back to fighting defensively, trying to dodge all of Cell's attacks, which is pretty easy by this point since he's getting so sloppy and so large. But every time one of his attacks hits, it's massive. His power at this point is worrying. But then Piccolo realizes, if this is actually the case, that means Cell's most likely going to explode once his power reaches a certain point. And yeah, it's going to kill Cell, but also it'll destroy Earth in the process, and possibly the entire solar system. Maybe even more beyond that. Crap, Piccolo's right. It is their best shot at defeating Cell, but they're also going to need to get him out of Earth somehow. Future Gohan weakly joins Goku, saying he'll be glad to help do that. And surprisingly alongside him, a weakened Gohan joins too, powering back up into legendary Super Saiyan, not worried about raging out at all. They'll need as much power as they can get, and even if he loses control, it doesn't matter. It's their best shot at defeating Cell. Kid Gohan launches towards the android, hitting him right in the stomach and tackling him upwards. Goku and Future Gohan power up as well, joining Gohan as they tackle Cell together. Cell tries to swing at them, but his arms are too big. He's grown so much in size at this point that he can't even hit them, otherwise he'd be hitting himself. And even when he does try to attack, his attacks are so sloppy that they're able to dodge it really easily. He wonders what they're doing, as they hurtle further up into the atmosphere, and as they fly further and further up, Cell begins to lose more and more control of himself. His body warps more and more, tearing apart and regenerating at the same time, growing larger as he does so. Once he gains enough momentum, the three fighters let go, and together, they all charge a Kamehameha, launching it in Cell's direction. Cell continues vibrating, warping more and more as he flies off into space. He's not sure what's happening with himself either, but he knows he's about to explode from all the energy within him. He tries to launch one last attack, but he can't even aim it properly. The beam completely misses Earth, although it's a pretty massive beam, and it only helps him propel Cell further and further into space. They keep pushing with their Kamehameha, hoping that they can push him further and further out. They see the beam fly off in the distance, and with one last push, they launch Cell further and further, and then suddenly they feel no resistance. They see a green glow far away. It looks almost like a star, and then a massive shockwave, all the way from out in space. They feel the energy from this explosion. It's so intense. Even with how far away he was far away enough to where he didn't damage the solar system at all, and they realize what threat they just stopped. Had he exploded here, the damage would have been so excessive that no one would have survived. It's actually terrifying how strong that explosion was. Goku tries to sense Cell, and he can't sense anything. No regeneration, nothing. It seems he's completely gone. He was the one who caused his own demise. But then Goku feels a punch to the stomach, knocking back into his base form. The person who attacked him is Gohan, who's still berserk. Future Gohan then starts fighting him, and with a swift chop to the neck, he knocks Gohan out, catching both him and Goku as they fall to the ground. Gohan's power is impressive, but he definitely needs to get it under control. Luckily, he has his future self as a blueprint, and while Trunks and him could head back now, Future Gohan kinda wants to stick around, seeing if he could train Gohan in any way. As mentioned, Gohan and Trunks don't return to their timeline right away. They're actually going to stay back for a little bit longer. They have basically already accomplished their mission, and they know that they're going to return victorious once they actually do go back to their timeline. But after what happened in the battle with Cell, Future Gohan realizes that he has a duty to help teach him. Of course, Goku knows how to get control of the form too, but it'll be better having two people helping Gohan rather than just one. But the issue is, training Gohan might take a little bit too long. They want to leave soon. The issue is it might take a little too long to teach Gohan how to use this form, especially with his inexperience. But Goku actually has the perfect solution to this, something that they could have used before but didn't really have the need to, the Room of Spirit and Time. If they go in there, they can get a couple months worth of training within a few hours or so. They wouldn't even need a full year, not only because there wouldn't be enough food for them for a year, but because it likely wouldn't even take that long. They just need Gohan to get a better control in this form. Both Gohans agree to this, and they think it's a pretty good idea, so they go into the Room of Spirit and Time and begin training for a bit. This is nice for Future Gohan too. He gets to spend more time with Goku, as well as the past version of himself. The two form more of a bond. They're kinda like brothers in a way, even though they are the same person, but it's just a weird situation. It's more like Future Gohan's the older brother of Gohan. Besides that, the most obvious benefit from the training is the fact that Gohan gets a better grasp on this power, as well as Future Gohan and Goku getting much stronger with all this training. It's pretty amazing. Gohan never thought he had this power within him, and he's glad that he finally has access to it. His future self shows him the way, and this gives Gohan a lot more confidence as a fighter, not only in his own abilities, but he's more confident that he's not going to lose control again like he did against Cell. He wants to live up to the expectations of his future self, and see if he can surpass him in some way. Maybe he can be even better than his future self is. He'll keep pushing himself until he gets stronger and stronger. He knows he has it within him, and he's going to make it a point to make his future self happy, as well as keeping himself strong. After a few months, the three of them exit the room of Spirit and Time, and only a few hours have passed on the outside, so it wasn't really too long for Trunks to wait. And immediately after this, it seems like everything's settled. This timeline's okay, and they've done their job. Everyone says goodbye, and also thanks them. It was a pretty fun experience being back here, and even though they didn't change the past, everyone in the present timeline is prepared for any threats in the future. Future Gohan and future Trunks have also learned from this. After their farewells, they board the time machine, going back to their original timeline, and that's the end of this arc. Naturally after this, we get into a time skip of a couple years. As I mentioned before, Gohan's actually going to keep training here. He's a lot more motivated than normal, and it's also kind of a precaution. He wants to keep training this form because if he stops training, he might lose control again even though he learned about it. He doesn't want to risk that power overflowing again on accident. The great thing is he has some perfect training partners. Of course there's Goku, but there's also Vegeta. Although, Vegeta is more so on his own. He can't really train the same way as them. Sure, he trains with them from time to time, but what his training is completely different from what they're doing. Of course, those two are focused on improving their legendary form in any way possible, mostly focused on making it more efficient and drawing more power out of it. Vegeta is looking to do something similar, but with his regular Super Saiyan form, because obviously he doesn't have access to the legendary form. It's kind of weird, even though legendary Super Saiyan is its own thing, Super Saiyan is actually a more unique form right now, because Vegeta's really the only one with it. Obviously Trunks had it, but he's gone by now. Towards the end of the time skip, present Trunks does get access to it, but Vegeta's really still the only one that's using it regularly. He's basically on his own trying to figure out how it works and how to improve it. But thankfully with all this time, he does make some nice developments. Not only does he learn how to use Super Saiyan with maximum efficiency, but he learns to go beyond that, going into Super Saiyan 2 even. He continues mostly working with this. It is his best option after all. He does kind of have a rivalry with Goku, but doesn't really care too much. Goku is gifted. As a legendary Super Saiyan, he's just naturally going to be ahead. Even though Vegeta kind of hates the idea, he does accept it. There's nothing he can really do about it, and leading into the Buu Saga, that means he's not going to have a grudge against Goku. Of course he would like to fight Goku at his full power, but it's not like he's going to succumb to Babidi's magic. And let's actually get to that point. So, the tournament happens like normal, and by normal I mean it still gets interrupted and really nothing changes here. The members are the same and everything pretty much goes as normal. And this is when the group first hears about Buu and Babidi. They head away from the tournament, going towards Babidi's ship, seeing if there's any way they could stop him. They feel pretty confident. I mean, the group is really strong after all, especially with Goku and Gohan there. The first challenge comes when they face Dabura. They see he's plotting to attack the group, and immediately they jump in, ready to fight. Although Shin doesn't really want this. He knows that if they fight, they're just going to be lending energy to Babidi. But it's fine. The group says that they can make it quick. Goku and Gohan both power up, ready to fight Dabura and make this quick, as Vegeta runs into the ship to chase Babidi and kill any other minions. Goku and Gohan are both in their controlled legendary Super Saiyan form, and immediately Dabura knows he's outclassed. He tries to spit on them, but they're fast enough to dodge it. And normally people don't spit during fights, so they know that it's probably something that they should avoid, especially after Shin tells them what it does. The two of them decide to make this quick. Dabura is then distracted as behind him there's a massive explosion. A giant geyser of energy comes up from out of the ship, as Vegeta then jumps out. There. Hopefully that killed Babidi and both of his minions. With Dabura so distracted by this, he doesn't even realize that right behind him, Goku and Gohan have both already charged attacks, launching them at Dabura and killing him instantly. Alright, that seems simple enough. It seems that there's no Buu Saga, right? Well, not exactly. Of course, Babidi wasn't going to die just from Vegeta doing that. Pui Pui and Yakan may have died in the blast, but Babidi kept himself in a barrier. But he's not going to reveal that he's still alive. He actually has a pretty good idea of what to do next. The issue is he doesn't have servants to gather energy for him, but he might be able to get another one. Although, he has to make a good choice of who to possess. If he tries to possess someone and they resist it, that'll alert everyone that he's still alive, and that'll pretty much ruin the plan. But he comes across something relatively interesting. That person, Goku. He's not a bad guy by any means, but Babidi notices something within Goku that might be very useful. Although he has it under control by now, there's a fear within Goku, one that hasn't really been accessed in a while. Goku still fears that he might go berserk again one day. He doesn't know the extent of his power, and if he tries to go beyond where he is now, who knows, not only will he access a new level of power, but a new level of being berserk, one that might not be able to be controlled. Interesting. Babidi's not sure if he can turn Goku into a Majin, but he might be able to manipulate his emotions enough to make him enraged, and to make him go berserk. Although this does carry the risk of him being killed by Goku's hand, but the payoff pretty much makes it worth it. As long as Babidi's smart and stays safe, He can sit back and watch as Goku rages, creating a bunch of energy for him. So Babidi gets right to work. Goku immediately starts feeling weird. He's not too sure what it is, but he just doesn't feel normal. Something within his mind isn't right. He feels stuff surging within him. His power is soaring. Different emotions are bubbling up. And it's almost like there's someone inside his head controlling him. Just as Babidi thought, he's not able to turn Goku into a Majin, but he is able to manipulate him enough to make him go berserk. He watches on with glee as Goku then starts powering up. The group's not too sure what's happening. Shen assumed that Babidi was trying to take control of him, but this is different. Goku's back in his normal legendary Super Saiyan form. It's not controlled. His eyes are completely white, and he's stronger than he even is in his controlled form. It's almost like Babidi unlocked the power that Goku was trying to keep latent. He knew this berserk side was still there, and always feared it resurging again. Babidi retreats to watch from far away. Remember, Goku's not a Majin servant, he's just berserk. It's basically Goku acting like he was on Namek when he first got the legendary Super Saiyan form. The power's taking complete control of him, and he's blinded by rage that seemingly came out of nowhere. Shin's not too aware of what's happening, but Gohan and Vegeta try to explain. And it all makes sense. Shin realizes what Babidi's plan was. He didn't want to take control of Goku. He wanted to make Goku go berserk so he'd give off enough energy for Buu to be revived. There's only one option now. They need to stop Goku somehow before it's too late. If they don't stop Goku, there's one of two outcomes. 1, Buu is revived, and Babidi wins. 2, Goku destroys Earth, which would probably still give enough energy to revive Buu. And either way, Babidi takes victory. Gohan powers up with Vegeta powering up too. Although they're still a bit nervous, they have to knock Goku unconscious somehow, but they're not too sure how to accomplish that. He's so powerful at the moment, and with him being berserk, his power is only surging more and more. But whatever, this is their only chance. They jump up midair, coaxing Goku into following them. Goku obliges and their fight begins. They exchange blows midair, creating massive shockwaves that can be felt down below. His power seems like it might be manageable now, but if they let him grow any further, he's going to be too strong for them to stop. And who knows, what if it grows to a point where he's like Cell, where he can't contain the power within him and he explodes? This is just a bad situation overall. They're not too sure how they're going to get out of this. Goku delivers a punch to Gohan. He blocks it narrowly, but he's sent flying away, back even towards the World Tournament arena. Vegeta tries landing a flurry of attacks, but Goku just tanks them all. None of them seem to do any damage. He attacks Vegeta and Vegeta narrowly avoids it. Looking around wondering where Gohan went, flying away from Goku. Goku follows Vegeta and then Gohan jumps back up. He's okay, he was just kinda caught off guard by that. Piccolo, Krillin, Shin, and Kibito follow along. But then they notice that there might be a big issue. They're getting very close to the World Tournament arena. And since Goku's berserk, he's not controlling what he's destroying and what he isn't. This could be bad. Really bad. The fight continues between Gohan, Vegeta, and Goku. Gohan and Vegeta try and draw Goku away from the World Tournament arena, but it's not working. Piccolo and Krillin go below to try and get everyone out of there. And out of the corner of his eye, Goku sees them. He launches an attack at the two of them, but Gohan jumps in front and blocks it. But then he realizes where he is. He's right in the middle of the arena and is basically a giant target for Goku. Goku gives off a menacing grin, and completely blinded by his power and rage, he charges up a massive attack in his hand, crushing it into a tiny ball, then throwing it towards Gohan. The ball then expands more and more. Everyone in the arena watches on in fear. Vegeta quickly flies down to Gohan to help defend against this, launching a final flash as Gohan launches a Kamehameha, trying to fend off the attack. Goku lends more and more power to the attack, and as he does so, it's harder and harder for them to push back. If this attack explodes, it's going to kill everyone around here, including Piccolo, Krillin, Shin, and Kibito. Possibly those two as well. They keep trying to push it back, but nothing's working, and Gohan then remembers who else is in the arena. All his friends and family. Bulma, Chi-Chi, Goten, and Trunks are trapped over there. Goten and Trunks try and join in to help, but Vegeta tells them to not get involved. It's best if they try and leave as quickly as possible. But there's no way of escaping. And seeing everyone in danger, this makes something bubble up within Gohan. He feels an emotion that he hasn't really felt in a while. There's a little bit of rage in there, but also stubbornness and resilience. He's not going to give up. He'll defend everyone down here at all costs, and he'll stop Goku from raging. Vegeta then notices that Gohan's power is surging, and immediately gets concerned. Vegeta's terrified. He assumes that Gohan's going to go berserk too, as Gohan slowly bulks up, and then bulks back down to his normal size. He shouts, and his aura intensifies. His beam grows larger. Sparks of electricity appear around him. He's reinvigorated. Briefly, he tapped into a brand new power, giving him just enough energy to knock Goku's attack right back at him. The attack hits Goku, as well as the beams from Gohan and Vegeta. They do some pretty bad damage to Goku, not enough to kill him, but just enough to knock him unconscious. The attacks dissipate and the two of them power down. Vegeta looks over to Gohan confused. Was that a new transformation or something? Gohan's not too sure himself. He's never really accessed anything like that. But Vegeta then remembers, the sparks appearing around Gohan, the power-up. Wait, what if that was Gohan's own version of Super Saiyan 2, except Legendary Super Saiyan 2? Gohan never even considered that. He never knew that was even possible. If anything, he's surprised he didn't go berserk himself, considering the situation he was in and the emotional strain surrounding it. They fly over to Goku to make sure he's still breathing, and sure enough, he's okay. Thankfully, he was resilient enough to survive something like that, and it seems he's calmed down, obviously because he's unconscious. Everyone else flies over and glad that it's done. That could have been really disastrous, but amidst the celebrations, Shin then realizes that fight went on for a pretty long time considering the amount of energy that was being given off. But everything seems so calm right now. Did they avoid Majin Buu being revived? Or maybe it's already too late and they don't even know it. Something then floats above the arena. An evil laughter is heard echoing the route, and everyone looks up to see what's happening. A bunch of random people are then lifted from their seats. And after a bright flash of light, they're turned into candy? The object above the arena descends, as everyone watches on in horror. It's Babidi, standing on the shoulders of some pink monster. The monster is Majin Buu. All the candy flies towards him and he eats it, without any sort of hesitation. With no effort at all, he just killed hundreds of people within the arena, with the rest panicking as they try to escape. Babidi thanks everyone for their help, especially thanking Goku. Even though he's unconscious now, it doesn't matter. He accomplished what Babidi wanted, getting the energy that he needs from Majin Buu. And even though they were able to defeat Goku, they seem to have a bigger issue on their hands. Goku's unconscious nearby. Gohan and Vegeta are both worn out and injured. And the rest of the fighters, well, they barely were able to stand up against Goku. They fear what Majin Buu's capable of. Goten and Trunks jump in, wanting to help. Let me actually talk about Goten for a bit here, because I haven't really covered him. As you could imagine, he's going to be a pretty similar case to Gohan. He was born during that time skip, and after they saw what Gohan and Goku were capable of when they went berserk, they're not too sure if they wanted to train Goten to go Super Saiyan, especially at his young age right now. They wanted to wait a bit, but Goten doesn't want to wait. He wants to start fighting more and more. Yeah, he's been training and all, but he wants to get stronger. He feels so far behind everyone. Gohan's worried about what might happen if he tries to power up during battle, but with his new power, Goten might be okay. If Goten ends up going berserk, Gohan will try to get him under control. Besides, they're going to need all the help they can get against Buu. Buu and Babidi slowly descend from above the arena, after Buu just ate a bunch of people. The group has no idea what to do now, and they think that they might be screwed. Goku is heavily injured and weakened nearby. The strongest fighters right now are Gohan and Vegeta, and they're both very tired out and a little bit injured from their fight with Goku. Of course, Piccolo, Krillin, Trunks, and Goten are there as well. But no one knows if they'll be able to stop Buu. No one really knows what to do at the moment, but Trunks and Goten are ready to fight. If everyone else is down for the count, they're gonna handle it. The two power up and fly towards Buu. Vegeta, Gohan, and the others try to stop them. But it's no use, they act way too rash here. The two begin punching the Majin, and nothing works. Their punches just bounce off him. He's not even harmed at all. As the others plead for them to come back, Trunks then charges up an attack, launching a blast right at Majin Buu. Buu laughs, and in response, he launches a beam from his antenna. It cuts right through Trunks' blast, hitting him head on, as Trunks is then turned into candy. Buu and Babidi laugh as everyone looks on in disbelief, especially Vegeta. He's enraged beyond belief. As the two are laughing and taunting, Vegeta then immediately powers up out of anger. Without hesitation, he launches right towards Buu, holding him off briefly and actually being able to deal some damage. Although this power is fleeting, it's only being fueled by his rage. But still, it's useful. As Vegeta fights Buu, this gives everyone some time to think. But there's another issue that Gohan notices. Obviously, Vegeta wouldn't be the only one to react to this. Goten's beginning to get enraged too. And Gohan looks over at him, telling Goten to control himself. Goten doesn't know his own power at all, and he's never really used it. Gohan wants to avoid this. They can't have another berserk fighter alongside them. That'll only make things worse. And Goten listens to Gohan, but he still does want to fight. As Vegeta continues fighting Buu, Piccolo and Gohan then jump in. And Goten watches on. Maybe he'll be okay if he doesn't use his full power. He just needs to fight in base. That should be enough to help, right? He jumps in too. Gohan's concerned, but he guesses it's okay. It looks like they do need all the help they can get anyways. Babidi sees that Goten's back for more, and laughs, just to taunt everyone again. He tells Buu to turn this kid into candy. Quickly, Buu turns over to Goten, launching a candy beam right at him. No one can react in time. They were too preoccupied fighting him that they can't jump in front of the beam. But Goten then feels himself getting tackled from the side, and everyone looks on in disbelief. Using the absolute last of his energy, Goku woke up and in the nick of time, jumped in to save Goten. But in the process, he takes a hit from the beam, being turned into candy. Babidi laughs. What a mess. Nothing they could do could fend off Majin Buu. Buu grabs the Goku candy, munching on it in front of everyone. Enraged by this, Goten then jumps in once more, going to attack Buu right away, but Gohan grabs him by his leg. He doesn't want Goten getting anywhere near Buu. He knows how Goten feels, but it's too dangerous. They already lost 2 people so far. not to mention all the people in the stands that died due to Buu. They have no idea what he's capable of and no idea of how to defeat him. If Goten goes in right now, he'll only be bringing about his own death. Not to mention, if he goes berserk, that's just going to make things even worse. Just like Gohan said before, he reminds Goten, keep himself under control. He knows how Goten feels. He has that anger within him as well. But he tells his brother, don't succumb to it. Although, there's a big issue now. Without Goku, they might be screwed. Sure, before he was without his power. He was not only far too injured, but very worn out from his fight. Although, there still is the fact that he died, not to mention Trunks too. Out of his rage, Vegeta launches a final flash right at Babidi and Buu. They were too distracted by the fact that Buu just ate Goku that Babidi didn't even realize. Vegeta had already charged up a massive attack. The final flash is a direct hit. Babidi tries to put up a barrier, but it's not enough. The barrier breaks, and Babidi is killed, with Buu taking on most of the blast. Alright, this might be good. Vegeta's attack did accomplish something. For one, it killed Babidi, but also, it did destroy Majin Buu. They know he's going to regenerate and they can see him coming together once again. But this is good. It's going to at least buy them some time. Although, they're not sure how much. They can see Buu's regenerating pretty quickly. So Vegeta immediately flies past the group, grabbing Goten and Gohan, with Piccolo and Krillin following as Vegeta drags everyone away. Thankfully, the rest of the stands have already evacuated by now. But Shin and Kibito point out something that might be an issue. Yeah, Babidi's dead, but that means Buu's a complete loose cannon, at least before he was being controlled by Babidi. But now Buu's free to do whatever he pleases. Who knows what that'll be? Maybe he'll be more destructive, possibly he'll be less destructive, no one can tell. But they need to stop him in his tracks as quickly as possible. So, what's the best way of actually doing that? They need to find a way to not only recover their energy, but a way to actually coordinate their attacks so they can defeat Buu. Vegeta and Gohan believe that if they had their full power and combined it, they might be able to actually stop Buu. Vegeta's final flash was enough to completely destroy him, and if he had Gohan at full power alongside him, Buu would have been dead by that point. But of course, neither of them were at their full power. Not only that, but they need to revive everyone, not just the people from the World Tournament, but Goku and Trunks. Shin says that they could retreat to the Sacred World of Kais for the time being, but Piccolo has his own idea. He says that they should get the Dragon Balls. If they go hunt for the Dragon Balls right now, they could revive everyone, and that would include Trunks and Goku. If they had Goku joining the fight, at his full power, he alone might actually be enough to defeat Buu. With those extensive injuries he just took, he definitely got a huge boost in power. And if they revive him, he's going to come back at full health. Plus, a hunt for the Dragon Balls will give everyone time to recover energy. And they won't need to worry about everyone dying because they're going to be reversing it anyways. He asks the others if they have any ideas, and no one can really think of anything. This does seem like the best plan for now. So, the group then heads to Capsule Corp, getting individual Dragon Radars so they can split up and find the Dragon Balls. And although them splitting up will make it faster, they do have to make sure they're unnoticed. Not only because they're going to be on their own, but if they do get noticed, who knows what Buu's going to do if he finds out about the Dragon Balls. They need to keep a really low profile, they can't use too much of their power and they can't fly too fast. So the group splits. Meanwhile, Buu's kind of off on his own. He finally regenerates, and he doesn't really know what to do next. He looks around for Babidi and doesn't see him. Oh, looks like that blast might have killed him. Whatever, Buu doesn't really care. Although, regenerating did make him a bit hungry. Now, he wants candy. He flies into one of the nearby cities, going to different bakeries and other shops to steal food. And a lot of the food is great, but you know what would be better? If he just turned everyone here into candy. As they go on their quest for the Dragon Balls, everyone in the group can sense this. An entire city's worth of energy is erased in a second. As Buu turns everyone there into candy. Seems like the Majins found a new hobby, and they know they need to stop this even quicker than before. Because now that Buu's done this, he's probably going to be doing it again. He's a complete loose cannon like they expected. At least he's not going around destroying the cities. That's one wish that they could save. They only have to revive the people. But still, if they're not quick enough, at this rate everyone on Earth is going to die. Their friends and family are sent to the lookout to be safe. As they continue going on their hunt for the Dragon Balls, eventually gathering every single one, meeting up in a designated area. But they're concerned. They know the second that they summon Shenron, it's probably going to attract Buu. He will not only sense it, but he'll see it. And they can't have Buu killing Shenron or anything. Or even worse, stealing a wish for himself. But the group's prepared. If Buu does come here, they're ready to fight. And they have someone designated to make the wish so they don't have to focus on it. But they gotta do this as quickly as possible. They place the Dragon Balls down, summoning Shenron. Far away, Buu can see the dragon in the sky. Wondering what that is, he flies right towards it, launching a blast as he flies. Shenron actually sees the blast and panics. Great, someone's trying to kill him again? But the fighters then jump up and block it, assuring Shenron's safety. But out of nowhere, they then sense another massive source of power. And Gohan immediately knows what it is. He turns around in fear, looking back to see Goten standing there. He's finally at his limit with his anger. Buu just tried to kill Shenron, their only chance at getting Goku back, their only chance at getting Trunks back, and their only chance at saving the entire planet. They only barely just saved the dragon, but this is just more anger for Goten. He's powering up, with a green aura around him. Gohan yells out, trying to calm his brother down, but it's no use. Everyone watches on in disbelief. Even Boo and Shenron are shocked. After a flash of green light, the group sees that Goten is now powered up. Shenron looks right down at him, with a brand new legendary Super Saiyan standing right in front of him. Immediately, Goten goes to attack Boo. Okay, at least he's attacking the right person, but still this is a big issue. They don't know if Goten's going to be able to control himself at all. The power is useful, but he's definitely not focused. He, Vegeta, and Piccolo jump in once more, telling Krillin to make the wish. Thankfully, Kibito healed them, although he couldn't restore all their power because they had so much, and he had to heal 2 people at once. But this should be good enough for now. Goten is wailing on Boo, and his attacks are actually doing damage. Not to mention, Boo is facing 3 other fighters alongside him. Goten even lands some attacks on other fighters along the way. He's not even entirely focused on Boo. He punches Gohan at one point, who briefly blocks it, telling Goten to calm down and focus on Boo. He knows Goten's blinded by anger, so they need to do something to draw him towards Boo. Goten charges up a blast, so Gohan flies over right in front of Boo, then dropping down as soon as Goten launches it. The blast erases part of Boo. He quickly regenerates it and is now mad, flying towards Goten, fighting him. Alright, good. That should distract Goten for a bit. Boo's enraged and Goten's enraged. The two are fighting each other. They just need to help him to stop the Majin. They hear Krillin yell at the wish too, which catches Boo off guard. But as Krillin makes the wish, Shenron says that he was able to revive everyone, except for one person, Goku. Since he already revived him before, he can't do it again. And that might be an issue. They completely forgot this. But luckily someone was watching over, making sure that everything would go okay. He tells Shenron there's no need to make a wish today, and everyone recognizes the voice. It's King Kai. He decided to be a little bit more proactive, and asked if the Namekians gather their Dragon Balls. Suddenly, all the fighters feel reinvigorated. One of the wishes has been made, to restore the energy of all the fighters on Earth. The Namekians know how big of a threat Majin Buu is, and they don't want him coming to their planet either. They're more than glad to help out Earth. And then in place of Shenron, a second wish is made. Revive all the people killed by Buu, which includes Goku. The Majin begins feeling weird. He's shaking, as a massive flash of light comes out of him, scattering across the planet, reviving everyone. Everyone that he ate has been revived. And 2 of those flashes of light land right in front of the group. And they see 2 familiar faces. Standing there already fully powered up is Goku and Trunks, thanking everyone for reviving them, with Goku saying he'll finish this right now. He wastes no time. Immediately he flies up right towards Buu, delivering a punch that tears the Majin in half. Goten tries attacking Goku, but he effortlessly dodges all his attacks. He tells Goten to snap out of it. Look at him. And briefly Goten does stop. He can finally recognize him. It's Goku, and he looks over to see Trunks too. Just as quickly as his anger exploded, it resides, as he powers back down into base, happy to see them back. Gohan flies up next to the 2 of them. If they combine their attacks, they'll erase the Majin right away. Goku agrees. Vegeta and Piccolo use combined attacks against the Majin to hold him off, briefly stunning him so they can create an opening for Goku and Gohan. Goku draws his hands back, with Gohan following. Imitating his brother and his father, Goten does the same. The 3 charge Kamehamehas. And just like before at the World Tournament, Gohan briefly feels a surge of energy. The sparks of electricity appear around him once more. The same power he used against Goku. The 3 of them waste no time. In unison, they each launch the Kamehamehas. Vegeta and Piccolo then kick Buu, not only to hit him, but to bounce off of him, quickly getting out of the way as the 3 blasts hit, immediately eradicating the Majin, leaving no trace behind. With Shenron disappearing in the background, the beams dissipate to reveal that Buu's not there anymore. The plan worked. They're victorious. Not only did they revive everyone, but they actually were able to erase Buu. It's a shame that the tournament got interrupted, but whatever. At least they're okay. Well, it looks like Shenron's help wasn't needed. Although that battle was pretty fun to watch. And even though it did put him in harm's way, he's not too mad. Hopefully next time they actually have a wish though. But this fight also does raise a few questions. For one, what is that power that Gohan accessed? Is it a way to go beyond legendary Super Saiyan? 2, how are they supposed to control Goten? It seems he has access to the form now. And yeah, Goku and Gohan can teach him. But maybe they should have exposed him to this earlier. This is brand new territory for him, and they wonder how strong he's actually going to be once he gets control of this power. And also a third question. Is Shenron going to be mad at them the next time they summon him? Well, they hope not, but at least the Namekians and King Kai were there to help. King Kai relaxes on his planet, now knowing he helped save the galaxy and the entire universe. That was a pretty close one. Who knows what would have happened if he didn't step in? He gives himself a pat on the back. Smart thinking. It's a good thing he realized that the Shenron thing would be an issue. So the last part obviously did set up some important things. For one, we have Gohan with his new form, or at least an evolution of legendary Super Saiyan. Since Vegeta pointed out the similarities with his own Super Saiyan 2, they just call it legendary Super Saiyan 2. I mean, it's the simplest thing to call it after all. Pretty straightforward and explains basically what the form is. Now Gohan's pretty amazed with this power. He's able to access it again. At first, it was accessed due to anger. But as we've seen in this scenario, both him and Goku have great control over their rage. Now that I think about it, it kinda makes them like the Hulk. Both get power from anger, and both have a great control over their anger. And that's Gohan's secret. He's always angry. No, not really. He's just been able to tap into it now when he needs. And eventually does get access to Legendary Super Saiyan 2, being able to do it whenever he feels. And now Goku's interested too. Of course, he should be able to do the same thing, right? And Vegeta's just watching on during all of this, kinda jealous of them. He didn't realize how far ahead of them the others were. I mean, yeah, Vegeta is strong in his own right. He actually is the strongest fighter outside of the 3 legendary Super Saiyans, because even Goten seems to be getting a lot stronger by each day that passes. But still, even though Vegeta's in a good spot, he would love to prove his superiority, but he knows that's kind of impossible. And as more and more time goes on, Vegeta accepts this fact more and more. He did accept it already, but he's completely come to terms with it now. He doesn't care about some stupid grudge to becoming the best. I mean, after all, when you think about it, Goku was born this way. He can't compete with that. It's the same kind of stuff he used to preach as an elite Saiyan. Of course, he doesn't believe in that elite, low-class nonsense anymore. But it's a similar principle here. Kakarot was destined to be strong due to how he was born. And Vegeta's okay with that. If anything, it makes him much more humble, and he feels a lot more accomplished. He actually has to work for all his strength, not to say that Kakarot's not working for his. It's just that he's naturally gifted. You know, it's kinda weird. He wonders if Kakarot's entire family was like this before. Like, did Raditz have this power too? Goku's father? There is no way that Raditz was that strong. He was kind of a chump. Eventually, we arrive to Battle of Gods, or at least Beerus' awakening. He did have some premonitions about some sort of Super Saiyan god or something, so his best bet is to check Earth where the only remaining Saiyans are. First, he goes to King Kai's planet, and it just so happens that Goku's training there. Now, Goku seems like an interesting case. From what King Kai and Goku are telling him, there does exist a form called Super Saiyan, but Goku's no normal Saiyan or Super Saiyan. He's a legendary Super Saiyan, and that name interests Beerus. He perks up instantly when hearing this. He wonders if maybe this is what he was dreaming about. You know, maybe he just got the name wrong, but legendary Super Saiyan? That still sounds powerful and all. Goku explains the form, but Beerus doesn't really care too much. He just wants to see it showcased. Well, alright. He's speaking Goku's language, and he begins transforming. King Kai and everyone else hits the deck as the planet begins shaking. He tells Goku to stop transforming. This planet can't handle it. But it's already too late. The planet quake passes, as Goku now has his signature green aura again. And Beerus sees the noticeable difference. He's bulked up a bit. His hair's green and spikier, and his eyes are yellow. This is legendary Super Saiyan, or at least the controlled form of it. And Beerus is impressed with the power, so they try and test it out. And even though Goku's incredibly strong here, legendary Super Saiyan doesn't do much against Beerus. But Goku then reveals he has a form beyond this as well. An evolution beyond this power called Legendary Super Saiyan 2. Pretty straightforward name. Beerus is actually enjoying this. The Saiyan seems surprising. As is, this legendary form seems pretty powerful, but apparently he can go beyond that too. Maybe Beerus has finally found his rival. Goku powers up into Legendary Super Saiyan 2, and the battle resumes. Of course, Beerus is still way ahead. But it's not like the gap that they had in power in the original story. Obviously, I think it's safe to assume that Legendary Super Saiyan is beyond where Super Saiyan 3 Goku was in the same point in time. And, naturally, Legendary Super Saiyan 2 would be beyond that. Goku is able to keep up for a bit, but as Beerus shows off more of his power, it eventually becomes a very one-sided fight. A short and friendly fight, but an enjoyable one nonetheless. King Kai finally comes out of hiding to see the damage that's been done, and thankfully most of the fight happened mid-air. Although nearby Goku's laying in a crater, with Beerus and Whis standing over. But thankfully King Kai's in good company, because Beerus glances over to Whis, who not only immediately heals Goku, but also restores that crater in the planet. King Kai breathes a sigh of relief. So Beerus continues questioning Goku. Is that truly the extent of his power? I mean, he was impressed, he doesn't want to lie. But he did expect a little bit more beyond that, and asks if Goku knows anything about the Super Saiyan God. And of course, no one knows about it. They could go to Earth and ask Vegeta, but Goku's pretty sure that he wouldn't know either. And Beerus does exactly that. They go to Earth and ask Vegeta, but he knows nothing about it. Well, whatever. Beerus is fine with this right now. And that's a really weird proposition, so Goku's kind of confused, but Beerus explains. He wants Goku to come train on his planet with him. He'll get a lot stronger from there, and maybe they'll find out the secrets of a Super Saiyan God. Maybe it just requires some godly training. I mean, God's in the name after all. Maybe if he's infused with God Ki somehow, that'll work. Of course, this is something that Goku's not going to turn down, but Vegeta's interested as well. Beerus knows by now that Vegeta's way below Goku in terms of power. He's just a regular Super Saiyan. But it could be interesting to see 2 Super Saiyan gods if that's possible. And who knows, maybe it won't work for Goku. Maybe it'll only work for someone like Vegeta that's a normal Saiyan. Or maybe they'll get two completely different paths. If anything, this will just make it more interesting. Not to mention, it'll make it a lot more efficient with two people training there instead of just one. Alright, well, looks like Whis is going to bring two students back to Beerus' planet. And they're all pretty excited. Vegeta too, especially. This is finally his way to go beyond Super Saiyan 2. Sure, he has dabbled with other ways. He has access to form that he calls Super Saiyan 3, but it's very draining and not really efficient in a battle. And because of that flaw, he has kept this to himself and hasn't really used it. But maybe God Ki could help him perfect it somehow. Obviously, he has no idea what God Ki's like and what it's going to do to him. But his mind begins racing. Maybe he can correct the flaws of Super Saiyan 3. Maybe he can get Super Saiyan God. Maybe they can combine the powers of the forms. Who knows? They need to train first to actually see what happens. So, they leave Earth and begin their training with Beerus. And ironically, around the time of Beerus' return when he awakens, someone else is going to return soon, although due to resurrection, and it's Frieza. He's really angered, and all he can think of is what happened on Namek. The thoughts of that monkey going completely berserk. When he's revived, he's hoping that he gets news that Goku ended up dying by now. Unable to control his own power, but it seems it's the opposite, so Frieza's gonna have to solve that problem. And he knows to be very prepared because of Goku's power. This is not only a Super Saiyan, but a legendary Super Saiyan, something that he didn't even expect could be possible. And from what he gets in terms of intel from his other soldiers, they're telling him that Vegeta's a Super Saiyan too. Like a normal Super Saiyan, but still, that should be pretty terrifying. Although, it's only rumors by now. So Frieza's gonna take this extra seriously. Instead of training 4 months, he trains for 5 months. This is so disgusting. The fact that he has to train at all, especially for 5 months. Ugh, whatever. And yeah, it's not that much of a difference, but to Frieza, it is a big difference. He hates the idea of training. But with his great potential, an extra month will help considerably. Although, not really too much in this case. You'll see what I mean. His first surprise comes when he arrives to Earth, going there immediately once his training is completed. And once he gets there, he notices that the two people he wanted to see aren't actually there. Goku and Vegeta are gone. The Frieza Force encounters a small group of fighters. Some random Earthlings, a Namekian, but more importantly, two people that he finds very interesting. One he recognized from Namek, Goku's first son, but it looks like Goku got busy and had another son. He can see the obvious similarities. Great, this monkey has 2 children. Well, if Goku's not here, at least he could take out Goku's kids. But just as quickly as the army arrives on Earth, they're defeated, like literally within minutes. Not only are they incredibly weak in comparison to the group, but with Gohan and Goten there, they don't even stand a chance at all. Like, they could just use a fraction of their power and base and easily defeat this army. They even have a laugh about it afterwards, saying that this served as a nice warm-up. And already in his final form, Frieza angrily jumps out of his hovering chair. These 2 monkeys are enjoying this. Are they not aware who they're in the presence of? Yeah, Gohan knows who Frieza is, but it seems Frieza's maybe underestimating them. They're clearly not taking Frieza seriously, and Frieza launches towards Gohan with a punch. And effortlessly, he blocks it with one hand, while in base. Frieza throws a flurry of punches and kicks at Gohan, but nothing works. Gohan is simply able to block them all, and even lands a punch of his own, which sends Frieza skidding backwards. Fine, if they're not going to take him seriously, he'll transform, showing off his newest power, Golden Frieza. Oh, cool, he got a new transformation, and Frieza's very proud of it, but Gohan and Goten don't seem too impressed. Gohan tells his brother he'll handle this, and tells him to watch closely. Gohan's still in base right now, by the way, and he walks up towards Frieza, and even though he's not even trying to be intimidating, Frieza is just kinda scared. Why is he shaking? This is just a normal half Saiyan. There's no way he could be strong enough to take on Golden Frieza, right? But that doesn't explain why he's so confident right now. Is he just being cocky for no reason, or does he have a reason to be cocky? Gohan calmly tells Frieza, remember that power that Goku displayed on Namek right before Frieza died? Well, yeah, of course. Frieza spent every waking moment in hell thinking about Goku, as well as that wretched and tacky form that he had. It was such a gross and unsightly power watching him be so berserk. Well, at least for the brief moments that he was alive. But in those brief few moments that he encountered legendary Super Saiyan Goku, he does remember it vividly. Well, Gohan lets Frieza in on a little secret. Goku's not the only one with the access to that power. He passed it on to his sons. Frieza doesn't believe this at first. No. There's no way he has that power, right? There can't be a way. He would have showed it off by now, right? Oh, okay. Well, if that's what Frieza wants. Frieza's eyes widen as he then sees a green aura around Gohan. No! He wasn't bluffing. The ground shakes below them as a piece of the land that they're on levitates midair, with the two now standing on a floating chunk of land. When Gohan's transformation completes, this chunk of land completely disintegrates, with Frieza scrambling as he falls back down to the ground. Gohan slowly descends and Frieza gets a good look. A green aura, green hair, this is the same form. And what's worse is Gohan has a control over it. It's not berserk. Frieza desperately launches at Gohan, trying to land any attack that he can, but Gohan easily dodges all of them. His speed is so immense. And just to rub salt in the wound, he tells Frieza one thing. He tells him to look at that kid over there. That's his brother, Goku's youngest son, Goten. And he tells Frieza another little secret. He has the same power too. Yeah, that little kid right there, he was born just the same way. And he doesn't care about what new form Frieza has or whatever training he's done. He knows Frieza's a threat and he has to be eliminated right away, but he doesn't stand any chance against them right now. Gohan's gonna get back to his family anyways, and with one quick blast, he eliminates Frieza. And just like that, Resurrection F is over. It's like it didn't even happen. And next up, we'll be going to the Universe 6 tournament. And as I've said in my other videos, I kind of find that tournament boring to cover. And on top of that, it's not really going to be that tough of a challenge. I mean, consider what's happened in the scenario so far. So for those two reasons, we're going to kind of fly through it. And if you think about it, realistically, it would be kind of boring. Little tangent here, I tried to find a way to make this interesting, but realistically, it would just end up with Goku winning. Every challenge would be so easy for him. And really, the only challenge would be hit. By now, Goku's long since accessed Super Saiyan God and God Ki. But he wasn't able to go beyond Super Saiyan God yet. With God Ki infused in it, Legendary Super Saiyan 2 is pretty strong, and he relies on that a lot, although he does have Super Saiyan God just in case, which is even stronger, and he does use that against hit. And as much as Goku would love to go beyond this, he can't yet. The fact that he's a Legendary Super Saiyan is holding him back. He needs to train and practice more not only with Super Saiyan God, but Legendary Super Saiyan. Obviously, his goal right now is to combine the two of them, which he hasn't accomplished yet. He's then defeated by Hit, which leads to Piccolo going up against him, then being defeated as well. But we have Vegeta up against him. Not only has he thoroughly analyzed Hit's abilities by now, but Vegeta has something that Kakarot doesn't. For a brief period in time, he actually might be above Kakarot right now. Yeah, he wasn't able to combine the power of Super Saiyan God with his own legendary Super Saiyan yet, but Vegeta, he was able to combine that with Super Saiyan. Relatively easily, in fact. And even though he knows Kakarot will probably surpass him again eventually, Vegeta's gonna enjoy this brief period of time where he is a Hit. He shows off Super Saiyan Blue, amazing everyone, including Hit. And knowing that Hit's a tricky fighter, he's gonna make this quick. He's analyzed all his moves, and he knows how Hit's time skip works. And Vegeta plays no games. Vegeta's stronger here, and much more confident, as well as having more knowledge on Hit. Combine all these and you have a deadly formula that guarantees Vegeta's victory. He defeats Hit, winning the tournament for Universe 7. He's never felt better. Goku congratulates him, and everyone's glad that it all went well. But Vegeta admits, if Kakarot were able to combine Super Saiyan God with his power, he'd be so far beyond him right now. And the others are pretty shocked to hear this, Champa and Hit even over here. Goku told Hit about this during the battle. But hearing Vegeta talk about it reminds them, is Universe 7 actually that powerful? And these rumors begin spreading around, as well as footage of the tournament in a God tube. And one person takes a particular interest in this, obviously being Zamasu. And yeah, Vegeta did win the tournament, but he still looks at all of Goku's fights, how effortlessly he defeated everyone else. He made it right to the end, and even almost stood a chance against Hit. Maybe he was just simply tired out, or maybe he was holding back. And like he saw in the video, people were mentioning that Goku can get even stronger than this. It's so unsightly. This mortal using a god's power, making a mockery of it, combined with that weird berserk form that he has, it just looks so gross. He's mixing the primal nature of his Saiyan form with God Ki. It's disgusting, and Zamasu wants to do something about it. Just another sinner from Universe 7 that he's kept track of. So, let's go to the future first, and try catch up on what's been going on there. As for Gohan and Trunks, things have gone pretty well for them. After defeating the androids in the past, they return back home and begin rebuilding everything. Although, after some time, Shin and Kibito got in contact with them, trying to figure out how to stop Majin Buu. And as you'd probably expect, they would have a really easy time with this. They only had to fight Babidi and Deborah. Not only is Trunks stronger in the scenario, but Gohan is way stronger. Plus, the fact that he's even there at all really helps, because originally, he was dead. So naturally, they're more advantaged than they were in the original story. Both are pretty strong, and against these two opponents, it's not really a big deal. So in the simplest terms, Babidi and Deborah were stopped. Pretty easily, in fact. And Shin and Kibito began training those two on the Sacred World of Kais. They still do want to get stronger, and hope they could surpass their limits in some way. And the good thing is, it seems like there's no threat on Earth at the moment. After stopping Majin Buu's revival, they're feeling very confident and secure. There's no way this peacetime's gonna be ruined, right? I mean, it's not like someone from another universe and another timeline is gonna come attack them or something. That would be crazy, right? As I mentioned in the last part, Zamasu ends up stealing Goku's body. And at first, he feels no different. He wanted to see if he could access this power right away, but there's no way for him to actually do that. Although, there's something really interesting I want to note here. Him having Goku's body makes for a deadly combo. As we know, Goku Black got stronger with injury and with anger,
which is pretty much how legendary Super Saiyans get stronger too, or at least how I've been treating it in this scenario. So I guess you can consider him double broken. He has the brokenness of Goku Black and the brokenness of a legendary Super Saiyan. And he doesn't even realize this yet. Although he can't transform, he's still really strong in base. And he's going to work his way up to a transformation eventually. Gohan and Trunks are training on the Sacred World of Kais, and out of nowhere a massive blast comes down from the sky. They sense another energy, an ominous evil energy that is also oddly familiar in some way. When the smoke from the blast clears, they see someone holding Shin up. The figure then creates a Keyblade, stabbing right through Shin. And then the figure becomes more clear. Gohan looks on in complete shock, with Trunks also speechless as well. It's Goku. Or at least it looks like Goku. Gohan doesn't know what's going on. This clearly is Goku's look. But this doesn't make sense. For one, he just killed Shin, which he's still trying to process. And two, how is Goku even alive here? This can't be Goku from this timeline. He's dead. And as for past Goku, how would he get here and why would he do this? Gohan doesn't know what to think, but immediately goes into attack, assuming this is some kind of impersonator. Goku Black is pleasantly surprised to see the mortals here, and this is pretty perfect. It's exactly the two sinners he was looking to find. Although, he's already in over his head because once Gohan begins attacking him, he realizes that Gohan's way too strong for him, at least in his current state. Gohan fights Goku Black, trying to get info out of him while also trying to defeat him and stop him. Goku Black does take some damage, and he seems to not care throughout all of it. Gohan still wants to figure out who he is though, and Goku Black gives only one vague answer. He's here to eliminate all the mortal sinners, and he says nothing else. Gohan keeps trying to get info out of him, but before he could win the fight, Goku Black just vanishes somehow. Unbeknownst to Gohan, Zamasu quickly teleported in and grabbed Goku Black. Gohan, Trunks, and Kibito are just left dumbfounded. Shin's dead, and they don't know why he was killed, or even who killed him. They can only theorize right now who he is and what his motive is. He said he wanted to kill mortals, but Shin was a Supreme Kai. Why'd he kill him? Not knowing what else to do, Kibito decides it's best they go back to Earth for now. So he teleports the two of them there. Gohan's still kind of in a state of shock. Why was Goku there? Of all people, why did he look like Goku? It just makes no sense at all. But at least they're back on Earth now, and they assume they're probably safe there. But of course, that's not the case at all. Eventually, Goku Black does arrive on Earth, and begins causing havoc there as well. Gohan and Trunks attempt to fight him again, and this time they realize he's a lot stronger than before, and somehow he's already fully healed, despite all that damage he took from Gohan before. They're only barely able to fend him off, and they can't even hurt him this time. It looks like they're going to have to play defensively now instead of offensively. And this just raises more questions. How did he heal so quickly? And how is he so strong? They could get stronger and defeat him, but they need more time. Wait, time. That reminds them. Their best course of action right now is to probably go into the past. Not only to find some sort of safe haven there, but they could also use it to get stronger and warn everyone in the past in case that same threat's going to appear there. And who knows, maybe they can even get some answers that way. Just as Trunks said in the main story, Gohan and Trunks are now trying to survive Goku Black, outlasting him until the time machine is refueled and they can go back to the past. The time machine activates, and they go back in time. Everyone's surprised to see them return, and the two begin explaining why they're here. And as they begin trying to theorize what's happening, Goku Black then appears in the past as well, with Goku getting a good look at him. He'll finish this right now. He powers up, showing off legendary Super Saiyan 2, with Goku Black chuckling. Yes, this is exactly the power he was going for. He wants to fight Goku and study it, not only to learn how to do it himself, but to get stronger. Although, once again, he's a bit in over his head, and Goku's easily able to overcome him, and even almost kills Goku Black. But, just like before, Goku Black has an escape plan, and uses the time ring to go back to his timeline. Or I guess Trunks and Gohan's timeline. Damn, and Goku was so close to killing him too. Looks like they'll have to stop him later somehow. As they try and figure out a plan, Gohan asks Goku how he obtained that power. Well, he actually learned about it from the other Gohan, and Vegeta. This is a legendary Super Saiyan 2, and Trunks can also access something like this as well with his own regular Super Saiyan 2. They're definitely going to try and pick this up, so while they do have the time, they begin training. Future Gohan goes to meet up with present Gohan, wanting to train with his past self so he can learn this power. As for present Gohan, he actually wants to help out here too, beyond just training with his future self. So, they're going to make the time machine bigger so he can fit in as well. They're going to have 5 people returning next time. As for Trunks, he trains with Vegeta. Vegeta's glad to show him the ropes and try and figure out Super Saiyan 2 with him, while also showing off his own Super Saiyan God and Blue, both of which amaze Trunks, but of course he can only focus on Super Saiyan 2 now. Although they don't really have enough time to train, it's just good to learn about this and see if they can access it themselves. Trunks with his normal Super Saiyan 2, and future Gohan with legendary Super Saiyan 2. And all this time, Goku's working towards something of his own. It's something that he knows he could do, he's just not sure how effective it'll be in practice. Just like Vegeta did combining Super Saiyan with Super Saiyan God, he's combining legendary Super Saiyan with that form. He needs a perfect mix of anger and control, and this might be his best chance at actually doing that. The group is just about ready to head to the future once more, with everyone trying to formulate a plan. They think that they're just fighting Goku Black, but they also need to figure out who he is. Beerus and Whis already pointed fingers at Zamasu, but they don't have anything concrete yet. So once they're actually in the future, they're hoping they'll find out the origin of Goku Black. But Goku Black hasn't been doing nothing. He has kept himself occupied, and he's ready for everyone to arrive once more. He greets them once they arrive in the future, alongside with, surprise surprise, Zamasu. They're confident about the fight, but before the fight starts, they want to know what happened here. Who is Goku Black? Why is Zamasu here? And what are they even planning? Of course, they explain the whole spiel to them. Some sort of a Zero Mortals plan or whatever. Goku tells them they won't accomplish that though. He's confident that he and his group will stop them. But Goku Black says he wouldn't be so sure about that. After the last encounter, he got a lot stronger, not just due to his Zenkai, but he finally figured out the secret to something he's been working towards. He did something that he saw from Vegeta, but not actually from Goku. He figured out how to transform, and due to him actually being a god, when he transformed, the properties of Super Saiyan and God Ki are already combined. But he's a special case. Since he's in the body of Goku, he has partial access to the power of a legendary Super Saiyan. But instead of explaining, it's better to demonstrate. He begins powering up, surrounded by a pinkish and purplish aura. He briefly bulks up, but that bulk immediately goes away. His hair begins changing hue, turning purplish, and then he shows off his newest form. It's kind of like Rosé, but if it were for a legendary Super Saiyan. And as you'd probably guess, the power is unimaginable. They didn't expect him to get this strong so quickly, and this form, it's really going to complicate things. Although, Goku isn't too concerned. He's gotten a better handle on what he's been working towards as well. And you know what? If they're both showing off forms, he might as well show off his now too. And for this upcoming form, I didn't take inspiration from my past what if with Vegeta turning into a legendary Super Saiyan. Goku powers up, surrounded by his signature green aura. At first he goes into Super Saiyan God, but then begins morphing. His muscles bulk up, looking like his regular legendary Super Saiyan form. And his hair begins growing, changing hue and going green. Everyone watches on in amazement, with Goku Black even laughing. This will be the perfect challenge for him. And after an explosion of light and ki, they see Goku floating midair as he drops back down to the ground. This is the first time he's going to be using this in battle, but it's his newest form, legendary Super Saiyan God. I took inspiration from Broly and actually did something different with that. Z Broly actually does have a god form. Well, it's in a pretty obscure movie that probably most of you haven't even seen. Here's a picture so you can see what I mean. And you may be asking, why does his form look different from Goku Black's? Because I think it looks cool. I wanted to use this in a video for a while and now I have the opportunity. But also you gotta consider that Goku Black's power is completely different. Similar to Goku's, but still pretty different. Hence the difference in hair and the color of the hair. The two begin clashing, as the others try and face Zamasu. Goku doesn't have full control over this form, but he has just enough to actually make it a good battle. He has practice with it on his own, and the true test of power is to see if it can hold up against Goku Black. As for the rest of the group, they realize Zamasu is actually pretty weak in comparison to them, and with all of them together it's kinda overkill. Although they come to realize that he actually is immortal. They try to kill him a couple times, but nothing works. So in this battle, he's pretty much just an annoyance. He's barely even an actual threat because he's not strong enough to actually fight them. But they can't just kill him because that doesn't work. So they just need to find a way to hold him back for now so they can focus on Goku Black. He's the real deal. Some of the fighters stay to fight Zamasu. But just as they're about to leave to fight Goku Black, he leaves too, teleporting away, going to heal Goku Black during his fight with Goku. They were actually fighting pretty evenly, but now with this heal, Goku Black got marginally stronger. Mainly because all his injuries were restored, and he did get a little bit of an increase in power, although it's pretty minor. But this makes it harder for Goku. Not only does he not have full control over his form, but now with Zamasu healing Goku Black, that's going to make things even tougher. Yeah, so they can't underestimate Zamasu. They're going to have to really try and keep him away from Goku Black. Goku Black briefly has the advantage, as Vegeta jumps in to help Goku in his fight. But someone else surprisingly jumps in. Kibito. What is he doing here? Well, this actually isn't his Kibito. That's future Kibito. With him being here, he does want to help in the fight, especially against someone like Zamasu. He can't offer much assistance in terms of power, but he also has an ability just like Zamasu that'll be really helpful. He could heal. He places a hand on Goku's back, and suddenly all his injuries are restored. Goku Black curses. They forgot to kill this apprentice Kai. Immediately he aims a blast right for Kibito, but the two Gohans are able to protect him, jumping in front of the blast, countering with their own. Goku even chuckles a bit, telling Goku Black that it seems they're a bit too even. They have a similar power, similar transformation, and similar support, but Goku does have the advantage in terms of people. All Goku Black has is Zamasu, who's basically there as cannon fodder and a way to get healed. Goku's confident. With all his allies alongside him, this should be a good fight. It's time for round 2. Trunks and future Gohan hold Zamasu back. They're more than enough. Vegeta and present Gohan help Goku, not only so they can protect Kibito, but actually to offer some help in terms of their power. Goku Black realizes that he might actually die here, and Zamasu, he can't do anything. He's held back by these other two. Goku Black keeps taking more and more damage, and without Zamasu there to heal him, it's not benefiting him. Goku then cups his hands, drawing them behind him. Green and blue light swirl around him, forming into a Kamehameha. The blast hits Black head on, although it doesn't kill him, but the injuries are pretty noticeable. He's even struggling to maintain his transformation. The group's ready to finish him off. But weakly, Goku Black lifts up an arm, grabbing his earring, then placing it on his other ear. He's then pulled away by some force, with Zamasu also being pulled towards him. They're fusing, and this creates Merge Zamasu, who's way stronger than the one from the main timeline. And his power is insane. It keeps on rising as he summons the power of a legendary Super Saiyan God. Everyone's fearful at first, but then something hits Goku. He realizes something that might actually be their key to victory. It's something he noticed with Goku Black during their fight. He actually chuckles a bit, and Merge Zamasu wonders why he's laughing. He attacks, and the group begins fighting him all at once. At first, their combined power is able to just hold him back, but he continuously grows stronger and stronger, showing off more and more of his strength, as he gets angrier and loses more control. The rest of the group begins seeing what's happening too, and that's why Goku was so confident before. This is something they've seen before. It's just like what happened with Cell. Yeah, Zamasu is pretty strong in terms of power right now, but as he gets stronger and angrier, he's losing more control of that power. Not to mention, if he were immortal, that would be good, but he's only really half immortal. The Goku Black part of him, that's not going to be able to handle this. Summoning too much power led to Cell's demise, and it seems like he might be making the same mistake here. Right now, they just need to play defensively. They can't damage Zamasu, but as long as they can avoid all of his attacks, they might be able to win. Zamasu keeps growing stronger and stronger, even getting larger in size too. But steam begins coming off of one side of him, as his right side erupts into green flames. He maniacally laughs as he powers up, but as the green flames dissipate, they see that the right side of his body is completely scorched. It's all melted in purple. That must be the Goku Black part of him dying, but Zamasu doesn't care. He keeps fighting, trying to control more and more of this power. But then he begins realizing his own mistake. He goes completely berserk. It's kinda ironic in a way. Before he thought this berserk power was so disgusting, and now he's using it, and it's making him lose. Once again, the green flames erupt from him, this time more violent than the last. The group has to shield themselves as a powerful explosion occurs. Left behind is nothing but a massive crater, and in that crater they see Zamasu, but the regular Zamasu. He doesn't understand. What happened? Goku explains. He couldn't control that overwhelming power, and the Goku Black part of him died. Since Goku Black wasn't immortal, that part of the fusion was killed, leaving only Zamasu behind. Well, it's kind of an unceremonious end to Goku Black. But now Zamasu's angry, although he doesn't have the power that he needs. He is stronger since he technically still is fused, but with Goku Black dead, there's not much he could do. Although, they're not sure how they're supposed to stop him now. He is still immortal, and there's no way to actually control him. But Kibito has an idea that seems weird at first. He tells him to go back to the past. Zamasu will probably follow them back to the past if they go, and as long as they have someone there to seal him, that should work. And Goku begins thinking, oh yeah, there are a few people that could seal him. In his mind, it's Roshi. But really, Beerus is going to be the thing that saves them. They go back to the past, and Zamasu follows them back there. He fell right for their trap. Not only does this prove that Zamasu is actually a bad guy, but this is good because Beerus and Whis could deal with him. Zamasu was acting so hasty during this whole thing, first trying to take control of Goku Black's power, and now this. It seems he can't catch a break. And with him in the past, he gets sealed by Beerus and Whis. Although, things aren't going to end right here. While future Trunks and Gohan are grateful for this, they kind of want to stay in the past for a bit to train. So they're going to stick around for a little bit in the next part. So the last part ended off with Gohan and Trunks wanting to train. For Gohan, he wants to evolve a legendary Super Saiyan in some way, and thankfully he's got the perfect person to train with, not just Goku, but his past self. What person knows him better than himself? And as for Trunks, he still does want to get stronger too, but he's looking down a different path, one that his father's following, a path to God forms. Of course, Goku has his own, but Vegeta would obviously be the better person to train with. The two of them are ready to get stronger. And it's not just them. Future Bulma comes to the past as well. She actually hasn't been here despite her being the one to make the time machine in the first place. She's always wanted to see what it looks like back here, wanting to know what they actually ended up protecting by going to the past. Of course, it is a bit sad for her to see Vegeta, but it's also nice to see that the past version of herself is happy living with him. Not to mention everyone else here that's alive, specifically Goku. On a similar note, Gohan gets to see what his past self's been up to. He did see him before, but now he's a completely grown adult. And not only that, but he has a family. He has a wife and kid. Gohan is kinda jealous of his past self, but very happy nonetheless. Damn, that could have been him. If his timeline was normal, he definitely would have had a wife and kids too, but hey, that's the whole point of them coming back here. He's glad that his past self turned out okay. Not to mention, he's a scholar, just like future Gohan wanted to be. This just tells them more and more that it was the right choice to go back to the past. Everyone here is living a happy life, thriving even, and they've achieved their goals that they wanted to achieve. Trunks meets his past self, and this is also a nice little interaction too. Of course, present Trunks isn't that old, so it's not like he exactly knows how he's going to turn out, but he's happy to see himself nonetheless. And you know what? Present Trunks actually does want to train with his future self. He has been training with Goten, but he can't really keep up, and he trains with Vegeta, but Vegeta's been gone for a while too, training for God forms. Maybe the two of them can train together. I mean, the two Gohans are training together after all, so why not do this too? And you know what? Trunks is up for it. Gohan trained his past self a while ago the first time they went to the past, and that turned out great, so maybe Trunks should do that with his past self as well. Although Beerus is a bit iffy on the time traveling, he's actually going to let it slide here. These two serve as a good motivator for Goku and Vegeta, as well as the other Saiyans on Earth. So hey, as long as this results in a stronger rival for Beerus, he's fine with it. Expect to see more of that in the finale. The time travelers stay for a few weeks, possibly even a few months, but they eventually go back to their timeline. They have been traveling back and forth, but they can't keep doing that. They'd rather just stay there, and they've gotten the strength they needed. It was a nice experience being their past selves and seeing everything back here once more. They thank everyone for their help again, and return to their timeline. We enter a brief time skip, and eventually we're going to have the Tournament of Power announced. Now it's up to Goku to find a team for the tournament. And it shouldn't be that hard. He recruits Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Goten, Trunks, Krillin, and Roshi. But that's only 8 people. He tried to recruit Tenshinhan, but he didn't budge yet. And even if he does join, they're not going to have a full team of 10. But before Goku tries even harder to recruit Tenshinhan or anyone else, he has a better idea. Wait a sec, could they recruit someone from the future? He asks Beerus and he's kinda shocked at the suggestion. At first he scolds Goku, telling him no way. That would definitely piss Zeno off if he found out there's time travelers here. But then Whis interjects. Looking through the rulebook for the tournament, there's nothing about recruiting time travelers. Not that there were many rules to begin with. Whether it's an oversight or not, they could technically recruit them. And Goku begs Beerus one more time. They need to recruit those two. They need the strength that they have. It gives their universe a better chance of survival. And Beerus knows that, but he is a bit terrified of Zeno. Reluctantly, he allows it. But only because Zeno hasn't done anything yet about time traveling, which he definitely would have noticed by now, especially with the whole Zamasu situation. And hey, they technically are recruiting people from their universe. I mean, if Universe 3 could bring robots, what's wrong with Universe 7 using their technology to their advantage? Wait, what, can't Whis just take them there? Well, no, Whis isn't going to intervene. He wants this to be all on their part. Otherwise, it would be kind of unfair. Thankfully, Bulma does have another time machine. Of course she would take the opportunity to build another one. She does have to be filled in on the whole situation, and Goku actually can't lie to her about it this time. So, she allows him to use his time machine, and he goes to the future. He meets up with Gohan and Trunks, who are surprised to see him. It seems things are going very nicely in the future. Of course, not everything is built yet, but things are coming along nicely. The two of them even have relationships. Trunks is with Mai, and as for Gohan, let's throw him a bone. Future Videl is alive in this scenario and he ends up meeting her. And despite everything, they still hit it off. Even without all the high school and Great Saiyaman stuff. Goku's glad to see things are going so well, but he doesn't really know how to ask this next question because the thing is, this might not even really affect them. It's a big favor. He wants them to join a tournament. And it's an important one. The entire universe is at stake. Although, their universe won't get affected. It's only Goku's timeline that actually gets affected by this. That's why they need as much help as possible. Gohan and Trunks are glad to help, but the thing is, if they do end up losing, they'll get erased. Even though they are from the future, they would be in that timeline at the moment of Universe 7's erasure. So Goku lets them know this risk. It's fine if they don't want to help, he would understand. But he asks anyways, will they join the team? And Gohan and Trunks actually agree to this. I mean, the past timeline has helped them so much in their endeavors. Without them, there would be no future right now. Gohan and Trunks wouldn't be alive. It's only right that they pay them back. Not to mention, they are family after all. Even though they're separated by timelines, this is their family. Vegeta, Goku, their past selves, everyone. So they agree. It's about time they put their newfound strength to use anyways. Goku thanks them and they return to the past. And now the team is all set. Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Trunks, Goten, Piccolo, Krillin, and Roshi. Definitely a unique lineup. And this would be really good too. Not only are they very strong, but a lot of the people on this team have great synergy. Trunks was training with his past self and Vegeta. Gohan's obviously been training with Gohan and Goku. Goten can work well with either of the Trunkses or either of the Gohans and Goku. I could keep going on and on, but the point is, everyone fights well together. So they're pumped up. A strong team, strong synergy, and strong resolve. they're ready for the Tournament of Power. They go to the World of Void, and the tournament begins. And while Goku kinda does want to fight alone like he did originally, he's not gonna go against Gohan's wishes. Future Gohan ended up agreeing with past Gohan's strategy. And since they went out of their way to come here and risk everything, Goku's not gonna just ignore Gohan and Trunks. Vegeta does though, and it actually works out pretty well for him. Despite Vegeta not being as gifted as Goku in this scenario, he's still very powerful and very driven. Actually even stronger than normal. He's working towards a new evolution of Super Saiyan Blue. He knows that there's some way to improve this, but he's not entirely sure how. This tournament might be the catalyst for him though. But even without that, there is something else he's looking to attain. It's something Whis has been hinting towards, a way for Vegeta to instinctively move his body on his own. Of course, Goku has trained towards this too, but he's been more focused on his legendary powers. But for Vegeta, he's excited. He'll surpass his limits, and this tournament's the perfect opportunity for that. At first, things for the tournament are going really well. Krillin and Roshi are probably having the hardest time keeping up with everyone, but even then, they're still doing perfectly fine. Goten does have control over his legendary Super Saiyan power now, but he's not using it yet. He wants to preserve some stamina, same with Trunks. He could use Super Saiyan 2, but he does want to save stamina. Future Trunks is mostly sticking with them, as well as Piccolo. These two young hybrid Saiyans are strong, but they need to be watched in case they do screw something up. Right now everyone's fighting pretty relaxed. Goku switches between his legendary powers, and eventually ends up fighting Caulifla. She's trying to learn Super Saiyan for herself, after seeing Goku, Vegeta, and all the other Saiyans using it too. During her fight with Goku, she is eventually able to access it, but someone else transforms too, Kale. She goes berserk and begins attacking Goku, with Goku definitely recognizing that power. It's not exactly the same as his, but it's still very familiar, and he knows Kale's dangerous. He doesn't want to take any chances, so he goes into legendary Super Saiyan 2. And instead of letting her rampage, he has no choice but to knock her out. He doesn't know if she'll be able to control this power. Sure, Caulifla was able to access her power very easily, but he doesn't know anything about Kale, and this power is a lot harder to maintain than even regular Super Saiyan. So just as quickly as Kale transforms, she's knocked out of the ring by Goku. Caulifla's kinda mad about this, but Goku tells her it's a tournament. She was gonna end up being knocked out anyways, and besides, this is for the better. If they let Kale rage out like that, things could have gone very bad. She could have ended up killing someone, even one of her own teammates. He tells Caulifla to trust his judgment. He is similar after all, or he was similar. And he tells Caulifla this: if somehow all the universes are still intact after the tournament, he wants her to help Kale get her power under control. Take his advice. Fighting continues, and Universe 7 is still pretty much washing everyone, but Goku has his sights set on someone. As much as he does want a rematch with Hit, he's more interested in Universe 11. Without an exhibition match, he never actually fought Toppo, and he seems pretty strong, but more importantly, there's Jiren. Goku begins walking up to Jiren, and the rest of the Pride Troopers kinda watch on in awe. Dispo decides to attack, but quickly, Goku transforms, going into Super Saiyan God and grabbing Dispo's fist before it hits him. Dispo tries desperately to outspeed Goku and hit him somehow, but he's then attacked by the two Gohans, who easily overwhelm him in their effort to help Goku out. Not that Goku really needed the help. He continues walking towards Jiren and they stare each other down. Toppo's about to attack, but Jiren says there's no need. He goes on to fight elsewhere, as Goku and Jiren get ready to fight. Goku begins cycling through his forms. Legendary Super Saiyan doesn't do much. Legendary Super Saiyan 2, not much either. Super Saiyan God is actually where he begins accomplishing something, although he's not doing any damage to Jiren. And he realizes he's going to need to break out the big guns. Legendary Super Saiyan God. A green aura encapsulates him as his hair begins growing out, and he now displays this power to Jiren. The two begin clashing, and it's actually a pretty close fight, as long as Jiren is suppressed. For the time being, this won't be easy for either of them, but their battle continues. With more and more people being knocked out, more universes begin bringing out their trump cards, which means Universe 7 will have to as well. The two Gohans look at each other and nod, and together, they transform into Legendary Super Saiyan 2. Present Gohan is impressed with his future self. He already accessed this form before, but he's already got a great control over it. Goten brings out his Legendary Super Saiyan form. And as for future Trunks, he does have a nice evolution in power, thanks to Vegeta. While Vegeta fights in blue, Trunks brings out Super Saiyan God. This is the true power of Universe 7. Together, they all knock out more and more fighters, even preventing their teammates from being knocked out. But Vegeta then ends up facing his biggest challenge yet, Toppo. Vegeta's not too phased at first. In blue, he feels confident. He is stronger than normal after all. But Toppo seems to be a bigger threat than he thought. Vegeta's definitely going to have to summon some more power, although he can't. He tries bringing out more power, trying to evolve Super Saiyan Blue, trying to force that evolution out. He'll break his limits no matter what. But for now, he's going to have to fight in regular blue. Trunks jumps in and fights alongside him, and others help gang up on Toppo. But this only serves to anger Toppo more and more. And as much as he hates to do it, it seems he has no choice. He goes into his God of Destruction mode. It's the only way he's going to stay in the ring. At this rate, even 3 of them together are going to knock him out. The two Trunkses are fighting alongside Vegeta, and they're suddenly knocked away by Toppo. He's focused on only Vegeta. As their battle continues, Vegeta realizes that Toppo could just destroy all his attacks. Vegeta's gonna need a lot of energy for this. He begins charging a Final Flash, the strongest, most energy-packed one he's ever charged before. He launches it at Toppo, who responds with his own attack, trying to destroy it. And no matter how much Vegeta pushes back, it seems like it's no use. As Goku and Jiren continue their fight, they see a massive explosion, purple and yellow lights flash nearby, as Toppo's attack collides with Vegeta's, then overwhelming it as the two then explode. Toppo resists the explosion and knocks him back a bit, but he's okay. And as for Vegeta, he can't see him anywhere. It seems Vegeta did overwhelm his Sakai, which is interesting. He destroyed destruction. That was a pretty unique reaction, and Toppo wonders if he actually survived that. No one's sure if Vegeta's alive, and if he is dead, Toppo will be eliminated. But he's not eliminated yet, which means Vegeta must have survived. The Grand Priest confirms this, and he tells everyone to look. In the crater left behind by their two attacks, a geyser of ki shoots out. Vegeta has finally evolved, but in a different way than he expected. He didn't surpass Super Saiyan Blue. He surpassed pretty much everything. His aura dissipates and Vegeta's revealed to be there, with flowing black hair and a bluish-purple aura. No one's sure what this is, but Toppo tries to fight him, and Vegeta instantly dodges all his attacks, which surprises even Vegeta. Unknowingly, Vegeta has access to Ultra Instinct Omen. Toppo tries attacking again, but nothing works. Vegeta is effortlessly dodging him. Vegeta then appears behind Toppo. He didn't even see that happen. And with a single punch, he's knocked across the ring, through a bunch of rocks, and completely off the side. How is that possible? Vegeta was losing to him before, and now he just one-shots him out of the ring? The gods all begin theorizing, at least the gods that are left. Some of the few remaining fighters try to attack Vegeta, but of course it goes nowhere. He just ends up defeating them all. As Goku and Jiren are fighting, they then see Vegeta disappear, and he's standing alongside Goku. Goku's already pretty beat up by this point. Jiren's been showing off more and more power, and even with Goku growing during the battle, even his legendary god form can't really compete. Vegeta doesn't even say anything. He instantly joins in, and Goku doesn't question it. He doesn't know what power Vegeta has, but it's definitely strong, and also fleeting. He is able to help do some damage to Jiren alongside Goku, but it's not the amount they need. Suddenly Vegeta then drops out of this form, and Jiren sees his chance. He knocks Vegeta out of the ring with one attack. Jiren begins powering up more and more as well, ready to take out Goku for good. But Goku suddenly feels a burst of energy within him. Vegeta already used up a lot of his own energy, but when he was knocked out of the ring, he lended the rest of it to Goku, rejuvenating him. Goku's green aura swells, clashing with Jiren's red aura. But Goku is then joined by someone. Gohan stands alongside him, with future Gohan also stepping up as well. The green aura grows larger and larger as the three collide. Jiren's then hit by two blasts from behind. He turns around to see the two Trunkses. And above him, Goten with a Kamehameha jumping over him, joining his father and the two Gohans. Roshi, Krillin, and Piccolo are also in the ring too. They'll lend all the help they need. It's amazing that everyone survived this long, although these three are kinda on their last legs. But together, they'll all defeat Jiren. Jiren fully powers up, his shirt rips off, his aura swells even more, and his clash begins with Goku. Goku's obviously the main threat, so he's focused on him, but the two Trunkses are helping a lot as well, as the two Gohans try and formulate their own plan. Goten fights alongside Goku, as the Gohans act as supports. Goku's hyped up. He's never been pushed this far, and the greatest part is he's growing stronger and stronger as they battle. This legendary god form is amazing. Collectively, everyone is actually overwhelming Jiren. They are making some progress, specifically thanks to Goku. But the two Gohans have finally figured out a great strategy. This one will definitely work. They start attacking more and more, with perfect synergy. They are the same person after all. It's kind of amazing actually. Future Gohan sees how much his past self has grown, and present Gohan gets to fight alongside his future self again. Combined with help from the Trunkses, Goten, and Goku, they're slowly pushing Jiren back even more and more, with the four legendary Super Saiyans growing during battle as well. They distract Jiren as Goku charges up a massive Kamehameha, launching it at the Pride Trooper without a chance to defend. Jiren quickly puts his arms up bracing for impact, but takes it head on. The two Gohans each fan out from Jiren. They run towards the timer in the middle of the ring, running up the side of it. As Jiren tries to tank the Kamehameha, the two Gohans begin charging power. And together, with their maximum power, they launch themselves off the timer. The Kamehameha destroys most of the ring around it, with Jiren still trying to tank it. But then he notices the two Gohans when it's too late. He feels their overwhelming auras together, and they hit him with excessive speed. As Goku's blast continues breaking the ring, their impact with Jiren does so as well. They pummel him right through the entire arena, surprising Jiren and catching him off guard as he's knocked through the void. Universe 11 has lost their final fighter, and Universe 7 has claimed victory. And of course, Goku ends up being the MVP, since both of the Gohans have been knocked out. And he already knows what he wants to wish for. Fighting all these universes was amazing, and he wants to see more of them again, especially what he saw before with Caulifla and Kale. It would be a shame for everyone to just die without a purpose. And he knows what he wants to wish for. He restores every single universe. Exactly the outcome Zeno wanted. We'll be getting more into the epilogue of the tournament in the next part, as well as everything beyond that. With the tournament having been won, Gohan and Trunks can head to the future once more. They're glad they were able to help. And it did give them a nice new experience. They were able to see where they stood in terms of their power, going all out with whatever new techniques they had. It was a fun experience, although a bit stressful. It's good to know that both timelines are protected. Making the time machine and using it a while ago was a great choice. Had they not have done that, both timelines would be in peril. They say their goodbyes and head back home. But now, what's supposed to happen in the present timeline? Well, the Broly movie's not going to happen. It's unlikely that Broly's going to be found, and even more unlikely for him to end up on Earth somehow, without Frieza there obviously. But hey, we basically already got him in the story with Goku, right? We'll be looking at two separate stories today. First, the Moro arc, and then something special. You'll see what I mean as it goes on. First, I think we need a reality check to see how strong Goku is at this point. With full control and Legendary Super Saiyan God, well, in simplest terms, he's just insane. Legendary Super Saiyan continuously grows stronger and stronger as we've discussed throughout this series. That's just how it works. And combine that with God Ki, well, it makes Goku almost unstoppable. I mean, just try and consider how insane that combination is. I had to put a limiter on him just to make it so that the series isn't him one-shotting everything. For now, with his Legendary Super Saiyan God form, he still can't really use the power to its fullest without risking destroying his entire body in the process, but slowly, he's working towards using more and more power, and each time he fights, he grows stronger, along with his potential growing too. It's not because he doesn't know the fundamentals of the forms, it's because the power grows alongside him. Every time he grows, the power grows too. It's like an egg in a microwave. He's trying to contain all the power and not letting it explode out. It seems this is the best form for him to have in this scenario. Legendary God grows alongside him. He basically has limitless potential in terms of how strong he can get. As for Vegeta, well, he's obviously going to be training for Ultra Instinct now. Since he got a taste of it, he realizes that this is something he can feasibly do. He wants to figure out if there's a way for him to access it once more, being able to fully tap into it. Of course, it's still not something he can do at will, but that's his obvious goal right now. He knows that eventually he can do it at will. He'll just need to train towards it. If he was able to do it before during the Tournament of Power, who's to say he can't figure out how to do it again? He is Vegeta after all. And although Kakarot's power is insane, Vegeta's confident in the potential of Ultra Instinct. He could definitely go far with it. As the two continue their training, they get a surprise visitor on Earth. It's Mayris and the Galactic Patrol. Obviously they're here for Majin Buu, and bad news for them, he got decimated a while ago. Alright, that might complicate things a little bit. Unknowingly, Goku and Co killed a Supreme Kai. Well, not just a Supreme Kai, the Grand Supreme Kai. Obviously it's not their fault, but still, without him, things are going to be a little bit tough. But what's going on exactly? They're filled in about the situation, hearing about Moro escaping the Galactic Patrol prison. He's not any ordinary fighter, he's something completely different, and that's exactly why they needed the power of Buu and the Grand Supreme Kai. That just makes Goku even more interested. He sounds powerful. It might be great for him to test out his power against Moro, but Mayris says this threat needs to be taken seriously, especially with someone like Goku. Moro has the ability to drain people's energy, alongside being able to drain planets and other things too. Goku and Vegeta would be a big help against Moro, but they can't treat this like an actual fight. They need to defeat Moro as quickly as they can, and Goku recognizes how bad this can be. We just went over how strong Goku is, and imagine if Moro was able to get a hold of just some of that power. Yeah, it wouldn't be good news at all, but still, this will be a nice test of Goku's strength. So he and Vegeta go alongside the Galactic Patrol to try and stop Moro. They arrive on Namek with the task in mind. They're not looking for a fight, they're looking to defeat Moro right away. No key attacks either. They encounter the Magician and he's surprised to see the two of them here. It looks like the Galactic Patrol needed some extra help. That's a good sign for him. They knew they couldn't handle him alone. But immediately his smugness goes away as Goku powers up into Legendary Super Saiyan God. He launches right towards Moro with a powerful punch. And in the nick of time, Moro reacts, propelling himself up into the air by lifting the ground up with a plume of lava below it. Goku dodges the geyser and looks up. Moro is definitely panicked. He didn't expect him to be this strong. Goku goes to attack him once more, using more power this time. And Moro's not quick enough to dodge it. The powerful punch connects with him, flinging him miles away into a cliff. Damn, Goku went kinda overboard. He needs to make sure he finished the job. Vegeta tells him to quit messing around. It doesn't seem that Moro is draining energy yet, and he can tell that Kakarot's terrified of Moro stealing his energy. As Goku flies over to where Moro landed, Vegeta follows. As quickly as possible, Moro tries to escape the planet. He's panicked right now. He's not going to be able to defeat these guys, and even if he tries to drain one of their energies, it won't be enough. It's going to take too long, and by the time they even notice their energies being drained, he'll be dead. His whole plan's falling apart. As he departs the planet, he tries to launch a blast down at them, followed by more and more attacks. Goku and Vegeta easily charge through them, not taking any damage at all, and Moro then launches one massive blast.
With one hand, Vegeta grabs onto it, chucking it right back at Moro. He opens his mouth and eats it, but it's not like it gave him any extra energy, it's just energy he already used. He then sticks a hand out at Goku trying to drain his energy, but is then met with a powerful kick from Vegeta, sending him higher into the atmosphere. Moro looks behind him and realizes where he is. He's close to space. If he can get out there, they won't be able to follow him, and he could try to drain their energy from afar. That might actually work. He rockets up into space while Vegeta and Goku shoot blasts at him, but not using too much power, in case he tries to eat them. Some of the blasts actually do hit and deal some damage, but by the time Moro notices, they stop firing blasts so he can't take them for himself. But it's already too late. They realize they're heading out into space and they don't follow him. And Moro recollects himself outside of the atmosphere. That was a close call. Too close almost. He needs to get the Dragon Balls somehow though. So he can't leave just yet, but he knows if he goes back on the planet, he'll be defeated by them. He then feels a powerful blast in the back of his head, briefly stunning him. He turns around and sees Maris behind him with a gun pointed at him. Maris then fires more and more shots, and he completely stuns Moro. Then Moro is grabbed by something, as Maris uses the Galactic Patrol technology to capture him and bind him. Moro is injured and in a daze. He knew he didn't have to worry about the Saiyans, but he wasn't expecting someone waiting out in space for him, specifically someone from the Galactic Patrol that was actually able to defeat him somehow. And even though Goku and Vegeta weren't able to defeat him, they were able to lead him right to Maris. He's apprehended once more and taken back to the Galactic Patrol prison, even weaker than he was previously. Well, it looks like they learned from their mistakes. He's going to be under a much more severe watch, and they're going to try and find a way to dampen his magic somehow so he can't escape again. Goku and Vegeta power back down, kinda underwhelmed. Well, Goku says that fight probably wasn't going to be that interesting anyways. It seems like Moro was just a coward that would do rash things when he's under pressure, and in his current state he wasn't even that powerful. But more importantly, this lets Maris see the power of the two Saiyans, specifically Goku. He was aware of this mortal, but he didn't realize he was that powerful. This is the one that Whis was training, right? It's incredible. He surprised his brother has a student that's that powerful, not to mention the other one, Vegeta. Although he didn't even use it during this battle, he knew that he unlocked Ultra Instinct, something that the gods couldn't even attain, only angels so far. This only intrigues Maris more and more, and before the two of them leave, he has a proposition for them. Well, specifically Vegeta. He's impressed with them, and he wants to see them train more and more. He knows Vegeta unlocked Ultra Instinct, and Vegeta's shocked. How did he know this? And Maris pulls the two of them aside. He didn't really want to reveal this, but he's sure the two of them aren't going to blow his cover. He tells them he's actually an angel in training, a younger brother of Whis. Of course, this comes as a huge shock to them, but it also explains why he knows about Vegeta obtaining Ultra Instinct. And he tells Vegeta he wants to help him. Not to say that his brother isn't a good teacher, but Maris wants to specifically train him to access the form again. Stay with the Galactic Patrol for a bit, train with them in their time chamber, and they still do need to stop some other criminals that have escaped. Vegeta could even help them with that. And meanwhile for Goku, he tells him to go back to Beerus' planet, train some more. He's already passed Vegeta in terms of power, and the gap is pretty big, but as long as Goku keeps training, it'll act as motivation for Vegeta. Maris does want to learn more about mortals in Universe 7, and this might be the best way to do it, actually training one of the mortals, specifically one of the strongest. Of course, Vegeta doesn't turn this down. He does want to obtain Ultra Instinct, and it seems like Maris is confident in himself. Maybe he could actually learn how to access it from this guy. The two of them accept it. Vegeta stays with the Galactic Patrol for a bit, as Goku goes back to Beerus' planet. Vegeta's feeling pretty good about this. From what he can gather, Maris isn't nearly as strong as Whis, but he's still way stronger than Vegeta is. And of course, the fact that he has Ultra Instinct is a big help. And Vegeta wonders if he'll ever be able to obtain this level of it. He's never seen the white-haired form, he's only ever had Omen. And again, it's not like he can even access Omen either. At least not at will. He's still got a decently long way to go. And thankfully, it's not like they have to worry about Moro either. Meanwhile, Goku heads back to Beerus' planet, as that seems to be a better fit for his training. Whis already knows a lot about his form, and it's not like Maris would really be able to help with it. And as for Beerus, he sees great potential in it. It's very destructive, just what he likes. So of course he's going to want to keep Goku close the entire time. But what's even better is Goku is shaping up to be a better rival by the day. And with Vegeta training for his own thing, this will serve as more motivation for Goku to get stronger and stronger. For Beerus, it's a win-win. He's going to have one student that has Ultra Instinct, and one that has this destructive legendary Super Saiyan power. With lots of relative peace, this gives him a lot of time to train. Goku purely focuses on legendary Super Saiyan God, trying to draw out more and more power with it, seeing how much of it he can expel at once. Whis even notes his improvements, his speed, his power, everything about him. He's growing at a pretty rapid pace, which is to be expected. I mean, he's been training on overdrive for the past few months. But during one of his training sessions, they see a surprise visitor. Maris arrives on the planet alongside Vegeta. He has some pretty great news, and he wants to see how Vegeta's new training helped him. Vegeta still doesn't have access to the white hair Ultra Instinct, but he's made a bunch of progress, and he shows off what he's developed. His aura flares up as he powers up into Ultra Instinct only, which he can now access at will. This is incredible. It still seems a bit draining for him, but this is a huge development. Even if it's only Omen, it's still immortal being able to use Ultra Instinct. At will, for that matter. The reason Mayris brought him here is because he wants to test out his power, specifically against Goku. Vegeta thinks this will be a fitting battle, a duel between their two techniques. Goku's raw power in his legendary god form versus Vegeta's techniques in dodging and Ultra Instinct. And maybe this fight might be what pushes him to the white-haired form. An all-out duel between the two Saiyans. It's been quite a while. And Vegeta tells Goku they know each other's ceilings, there's no point in pacing themselves, they should start at 100% right away. And Goku acknowledges this. That familiar greenish-blue aura surrounds him, his hair grows out again and his eyes glow. Goku transforms into legendary god, ready to fight Vegeta. Beerus, Whis, and Mayris watch on from a distance. Whis asks Beerus, isn't he concerned that this will destroy a bit of the planet? Beerus doesn't really care though, I mean, he always destroys stuff from time to time, and besides, Whis could always fix it. The two start out in their signature fighting stances, and then launch towards each other. As Goku's punch is about to hit Vegeta, Vegeta pivots himself above Goku midair, then delivering a kick right to Goku's back. Goku sent flying down towards the ground, but quickly launches a blast to propel himself back up. He swings his leg upwards, trying to hit Vegeta, but Vegeta dodges it, grabbing Goku's leg and swinging him around. He wants Goku to stop playing around, and Goku sees that he's gonna have to fight a lot more strategically against this Vegeta. Even though Vegeta can instinctively dodge, Goku wonders, maybe he's at the point where we could still outspeed Vegeta. He comments on this. No matter how much Vegeta dodges, Goku's speed might still be too much for him. Goku then turns into a green blur, flying towards Vegeta, over him, and then launching a volley of ki blasts behind him. Vegeta barely dodges this, jumping up into the air, trying to counter with his own attacks. With one foot, Goku launches himself off the ground, punching through all of Vegeta's blasts, and Vegeta tries to dodge, but with his other fist, Goku hits him right in the face. Predicting where he would dodge to, Vegeta wipes the blood from his mouth. This'll be fun. The two continue their clash, and it becomes clear that Goku has the advantage in strength, but Vegeta's dodging is really helping him, and he still is pretty strong regardless. And Whis comments on this, asking how Vegeta will react to Goku's constantly developing power, but Mayris says this will be good for him. He'll be pushed to his limit by Goku, and that might be what gets him to transform. As he continues to fight, he gets a little bit more worn out by the moment, and his dodges are less precise. Goku's getting a lot more hits in, and they're devastating. With how powerful he is, those hits definitely do count. But at one point, Vegeta catches one of Goku's punches, and Goku continues following through, but he then feels pushback from Vegeta. His aura flares up, and Vegeta delivers a kick to Goku's side. Vegeta launches back towards Goku. His hair is flickering in and out now, going white it seems. He lunges towards Goku with a powerful punch, and as soon as it connects, there's a brilliant flash of light. When it clears, Beerus, Whis, and Mayris see Goku blocking an attack, and Vegeta has his fist out with white hair. He thanks Kakarot. He's been pushed to his limit, and he was able to finally break it. Everyone's amazed, especially Beerus. He actually did it. He got Ultra Instinct, but equally as amazing is how Goku reacts. Even with this new development in power, Goku's still able to keep up. His power is incredible after all, and he grows more and more during battle. Not to mention, it's not like Vegeta's stamina is perfect. He does have a decent control on it, but with this white-haired Ultra Instinct, it only depletes him faster and faster. But he's back to dodging again, being able to effortlessly avoid all of Goku's attacks. It's like an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object, Vegeta being the unstoppable force, and Goku being the immovable object. Goku's able to tank every attack, and every time he's hit, it's almost like he grows stronger, learning from it. The overflowing power of legendary Super Saiyan, combined with the slightly restorative powers of legendary God. He's developing even faster with a real fight than he did with training. The two continue their clash, moving faster than the eye can see. Well, not for Beerus, Whis, and Mayris. Explosions occur around Beerus' planet. Whenever the two strike each other, it creates a powerful shockwave, throwing lightning everywhere as well. But Goku's ready to finish it off. He gets into position on the ground, throwing his arms behind him as he charges a Kamehameha. Bluish energy swirls around him, alongside greenish energy from his aura. Up in the air, Vegeta's ready to counter with his own attack. Magenta and blue energy swirl around him. With the power granted to him by Ultra Instinct, he's charging a Neo Gallic gun. Beerus watches on impressed. This is the climactic finale of the fight. A mortal with power that gods can even attain, versus the legendary Super Saiyan, one with perfect control and a godly presence. The two of them launch their beams towards each other. As they collide mid-air, another massive shockwave occurs. It's almost as if the entire planet is shaking. Whis sees that they might be getting a bit too ahead of themselves. At this rate, they might destroy the entire universe. He and Mayris float out into space, creating a massive barrier around the planet, trying to make sure this energy doesn't escape at all. And they see down below, Beerus is cheering on the battle. The only thing that could be more fun than this is him joining in. But this is the most fun he's had in a while. The two continue launching their blasts. But Goku then takes one hand away, and he jumps up right towards Vegeta while still firing the Kamehameha. Ki surrounds him, It looked almost like a dragon. As the Kamehameha continues firing and Goku launches up towards Vegeta, he cuts right through the Neo Gallica, and a massive shockwave flattens the entire area around them. The water on the planet evaporates. The shockwave is even enough to amaze Beerus, and after a brilliant flash of light, beams of energy fly around him, with Beerus destroying them all, and he watches on in anticipation. Up in the sky, he sees an injured Goku with his fist out, planted right into Vegeta's face, who is now in his base form, and seemingly unconscious. It was a hard-fought battle, but Goku won. He then collapses too as the two fall down towards the ground, weakly chuckling. That was an amazing battle. Marius is impressed with his student, and Whis is impressed with both of them as well. But most importantly, Beerus is elated. Both of these Saiyans, they're amazing. He's got two great rivals, one that will continuously keep growing stronger, thanks to the innate power within him, and one who has access to a godly technique, Ultra Instinct. In his eyes, Universe 7 is on top. And with that, we'll conclude the series, at least for now. So, what did you guys think about this part? If this series ever continues or gets an epilogue, what do you think will happen next? Leave any thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And let's try to hit that like goal. It lets me know that you love this series and you want to see more like it. And it really helps out the channel. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as hitting the bell icon so you're notified about any other videos on my channel, including more uploads like this one. Anyways, thank you all for watching, thanks for supporting this scenario, and I'll see you all on my next video.